Tears of the Damned.
Hello and welcome to Spoilers of the Damned podcast, episode number 32. Wow,
yeah,
that's a number that is significantly higher than 31.
Yeah, I feel like I just saw into the abyss. It's like, well,
just 32 episodes of like staring into distance.
Right. So.
I'd like to think that every time someone boots up an episode of this, they just kind of gloss over and suddenly they're unaware of their own actions. They come to an hour, as sort of like shown by our previous cast lengths, come to about 2.5 hours later.
Yeah.
With blood on their hands, feathers, like, oh my god, what have I done?
Like Indigo Prophecy. You guys remember that? Yeah. Or Fahrenheit or whatever it's called?
Yep.
Or like he just like wakes up and commits a murder and then like snaps out of it like, what the hell did I just do? And you have to clean up your own crime scene.
That game was really interesting until about
it was interesting.
And then it went batshit.
Cage.
Yeah.
Hack.
Basically, yeah. I don't want to say it. I was intrigued by Indigo Prophecy, but then it's like, wait, this is a movie. What am I doing?
Push X button to go to the next scene.
Yeah, press this way to arbitrarily move left instead of right, but both directions go to the same end result. Okay.
It's like holding down the play button on a DVD player. My God, I'm taking part.
Man, that's appropriate. What if that's how it used to? Oh my God, can you imagine if that's how it was? Like you actually had to hold down the play button the whole time, and like you had to like designate someone on the couch to do it because other people's thumbs get tired, and you have this one guy who's just really good at it all the time.
I was gonna say, like, is that even worse than just someone like hand cranking the TV or something the whole time? Like, I think the buttons would be worse. Like just having to exert a tiny bit of pressure all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I can't. The movie's too scary.
You probably just like have a nub and then you just tape it onto the button and just put the fucking controller nearby. But then it would be hard to stop. You'd have to rip the tape off and all. Yeah, man, wow. And like in alternate universe theory, there is a universe where that's true.
Yeah, I really hope they get to listen to this episode. And they're just like, whoa.
That's the premiere form of entertainment.
I never realised you could put tape on it.
Well, video games, these things.
And
we just hold down a button.
In alternate universe theory, there is a universe where they listen to only our podcast.
Nice.
The only form of entertainment.
Now we just need to, use some kind of MacGuffin device to bring our world and their world together.
Yes.
How can we do it? We could blow up Big Boss. That seems to work.
Well, I don't know if I want to fight alternate universe me, because we're going to have to fight. There's going to be like intellectual property rights.
This is true.
It's Highlander rules.
I could probably, if we're going like full alternative universe, I could probably sit on alternative universe me, because it'd be like like 150 pounds. Like I could just push them over.
That'd be awesome.
That's quite the mental image I've got in my head right now. Like,
Victory.
I mean, I'm pretty sure alternate universe me, especially if the podcast was successful, would probably be in a wheelchair eating pizza. Like the only thing I need is my voice. Then that's all you're gonna get. I'm not gonna do any health stuff except for the bare minimum to stay alive, and I'm going to enjoy pizza. And the pizza's gonna be part of the podcast because you'll be hearing me munch it on the podcast, and everyone's gonna want to know what kind of pizza I like.
I just had a vivid mental image of you in a dressing room, right, with all the lights around the window,
Yeah.
And you've got a towel on your neck, and you're kind of like, you're going, ha, 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 me, like warming your throat up, and there's like a pizza right in front of you, and you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah. And I have just the right kind of pizza to get my voice to be perfect.
Yeah, you're like, I'm ready.
I can't have an oily pizza. It has to be like a veggie pizza or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some
has
clean
to be
eating
natural
for
oil.
A clean voice. Yeah.
Natural oils. Natural clean oil.
I would love to kick the shit out of that guy. Let's do it.
Oh my God.
You heard it here first, guys. It's going to be the hit of the summer.
Yeah.
Episode number, I don't know, 33?
Yeah, we're calling you out, other universe.
Infinity War, like, X universe battle.
Yeah.
Do we have to like cut like wrestling promos on our other selves as well?
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
You have to like get really into it.
I'm gonna destroy myself.
Just start strangling stuff.
Oh man.
To be sure.
I'd love to have one of those like pre-fight interview moments where it's like I get to shout in a microphone at my opponent and he gets to shout back at me. But it's like, big fat wheelchair me, like, I will fuck you up.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I hate me. I'm stupid. I'm going to take me down.
I don't know why I'm doing this. I just fucked that other me. Fuck the guy. I think one of my favourite is this promo. I can't remember. I think it's Lex Luger, and it's been so saying, but I think it's like on some kind of indie show or something, and he's cutting this promo. And the guy asks him something, he just screams out, I don't know! Like, alright then. He doesn't know, he just wants to do it.
Is that a wrestler? Is that what...
Yes,
okay.
yes, Lex
I'm
Luger.
thinking Lex Luthor. And I'm like, that's not it. That's not it. He's talking about a wrestler, because Lex Luthor would be like, I don't know!
I don't know, fuck Superman!
Wrong!
No, actually, Kevin Spacey Lex Luthor would probably say that.
Yeah, and then he'd try and rape someone, so...
No, that's terrible.
Oh, boy. So anyway, Fahrenheit.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't remember doing it, but if I did, I'm sorry. That's not good. That's not a good...
Oh, yeah, which incidentally kind of... at the time of recording, we're currently in the midst of the ChangeTheChannel hashtag.
Oh, yeah, fuck those guys, seriously.
Yeah, so that's another apology that, like, a non-apology.
Hey, we're sorry that you feel that way, but fuck you guys.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you're all liars and cheats. Here's the evidence.
Hey, look, there's no way that any of our female employees felt uncomfortable and were harassed by men, because some of the women were okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm talking
Just
about
ask these guys who we actually pay.
Yeah, just ask the people that are under contract with us. They had no issues and they were not harassed. Look, just because like 12 other people said they were, but we've got one person that said they weren't. So no women ever are harassed because there's some women that aren't. So that's no, that makes no sense. Wait, what? No, there goes the fire and
Chris?
sheds gone.
Did you ever follow Channel Awesome?
I don't have social media really, so no.
Oh, okay. But did you ever watch Channel Awesome or that guy with the glasses?
Yes, that guy with the glasses. They were back in the day.
Oh, okay.
At one
that
point,
was pretty much the reason, I think, like, well, not the whole reason, but certainly part of it why I think both me and Matt have wanted to get into YouTube and digital media and stuff.
Yeah, it looked fun.
They were sort of they were the biggest, best people doing it at the time, you know, when it was all just beginning to kind of emerge as a genre of like kind of like internet reviewers and stuff.
And then it's like I said, like that it looked like it was fun as well, and it is. I do enjoy doing it, but then you just see all this fucking nasty stuff that's come out, and it's really, really depressing. Yeah. Like, oh.
Basically, they were really shitty to a load of people who kind of, it's kind of like, you know, in finger quotes, employed. They weren't really employed, but they did kind of submit videos and get told off and get reprimanded by management. So in a way, they kind of were, but they weren't as well, which is a whole kind of legal grey area they kept people in so that they could extort them, basically. Yeah,
it's really dodgy. It's like the whole, it's like in the WWE when the wrestlers are technically independent contractors, even though they're not. But yeah, there was like this. This is a really good example, actually, Chris. So when they used to do like these, when there was like loads of them on the site, it was going really well. They used to have these anniversary films where they'd make like, they were like really stupid plot lines, but they were funny, and they'd get all the people flown out there and they'd film a movie. Yeah,
like a crossover.
Yeah,
kind of like the Avengers,
crossover.
but
yeah,
like
the Avengers,
shit.
but less successful. And but basically, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the first one they did. When someone asked them what the craft service is, then Doug and Rob Walker and probably Mike Michaud as well. Michoud, my douche.
I make it rhyme with chode every time, so Michoud.
Yeah, I think he's just a wanker. But basically, yeah, they asked them about the craft services, and they were completely just like, well, there aren't any.
Yeah.
To the point where Noah
where's the water for the actors?
Yeah,
on
no
set?
water as well, and Noah Antweiler, the spoony one. I think it was, from what I hear, it was him that said every movie set has a craft services because that's how the crew and cast eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have that. Okay. And what about water? Oh, no, we don't have that either. and they were doing like 12-hour shoots.
Right.
And
that was that
mental.
like Circassia? So it was like in a really hot place as well.
It was like in like Southern America.
Yeah.
It was like near the Mexico border, wasn't it?
I can't remember. Do you know if the state of Molossia, Chris, is like in your country? Basically, like one guy managed to get some land and declare kind of independence through some like bullshit legal loopholes or whatever. So he has like his own flag, and he's like the emperor of Molossia or whatever. He has like a special hat and everything.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that either.
Okay.
But yeah,
well, basically, I think Rob Walker Googled that, or Doug Walker Googled it, found it out, and went, "Oh, we'll just write this as a plot for our movie."
Yeah,
so.
and then we'll take all the money from it. I mean, yeah, they did.
Apparently, that guy, he was letting them film there out of like the goodness of his heart and everything, and like shit was being stolen from his fridge.
Yeah,
while they were there.
Well, if there wasn't any food or anything, then that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
like I'm
saying, hey, I'll finance it. I'll give him food, I guess.
Like it's got to a point for me. Like whenever I work somewhere, not whenever, but like there are times when it's like I have to eat. I'm diabetic, so I have to. And if there's like nothing supplied, I would like, okay, well, we're at this guy's property, and fuck it, I'm gonna have a sandwich. I don't think that's all like what everyone was going through, but like I can understand why some people.
Well, no, if you're kind of pushed in that situation, because it was kind of in the middle of nowhere, so I mean, I would imagine it's kind of difficult to get, like you would have to go away to get it anyway. So
yeah, and that's why you would assume that they've ordered stuff like bulk items, even if it's like just like really like low quality. Even if it's low quality, like just bulk shit, just order it in.
Yeah,
and just fucking transport it there, and you're
like
sorted. Like, how can you
crackers or something?
Yeah, how can I don't know how you can like. I've been on the set of like I think like I've been on at least like 3 student films. I was a runner for one of them, and,
I can't
and we
remember
always
if
had
I
food.
bought you any food.
Well, the thing is, like the stuff we did was always either on campus.
It was like mostly on campus, yeah.
Or it was just like a couple of us like in a student house, so that was different. But like, I'm talking about like when you got like a crew, you gotta feed those motherfuckers because you can't expect people to be holding onto this camera equipment for like 4 hours straight and then go, it's lunch break. Do you want to fuck off and get your own? But we had like one of them. We had like Marks and Spencer sandwiches, and people like, it's cool, it's food, and we've got like bulk water. That's cool. That's all we need. You just need something to keep going.
Yeah,
it's really naive.
Marks and Sparks sandwiches are posh.
Yeah, they're good.
Could have been like Aldi sandwiches or something.
Marks and Sparks sandwiches are good shit. But yeah, like I think that just shows how naive they are, and I think that just sums Doug Walker up anyway. I mean, I've not heard anything good about Rob. A lot of fans have come out and said he was always a twat when they met him. He has like this air of superiority. The only good thing I've heard about him is that
he had a vote in firing that Holly woman, and apparently he voted no. So that's the only thing I've heard about him that sounded kind of all right.
And it's the thing, like, because people are going, oh no, but you can't really lay the blame at Doug. It's not his fault. He's this nice guy. I'm like, yeah, but then it is his fault because he should have the stones to stand up and say this is wrong. Can we not hide the fact that one of our contributors was a sex offender, or would have been a sex offender? Sorry.
Oh yeah, Chris, that's something additional as well that's come out. It's this whole kind of like hot water, like about this guy who killed himself, but apparently they kept it quiet that there were all these kind of allegations about him. Yeah,
grooming, lots of grooming apparently. It's and now everyone has. It's really depressing, like for a lot of his friends as well. And then people are now starting to put 2 and 2 together and saying that's why he probably did it, because he realised what he'd done and it was really bad. It's like, and I got really depressed that week because it was very depressing.
When it happened, it was really sad, and there were so many tributes, and people had like because he wears like an iconic hat, basically just like Warrior's hat, but with like different initials on it or whatever, and loads of people who were friends with him kind of had that in the background on their set for all the videos they've made since, and are only now taking it away. Yeah,
Spoonie had it for like, I mean, I know Spoonie doesn't really make videos anymore, but yeah, he had that in the background like since it happened. He had one either made or he bought one. Yeah, so it's fuck the internet.
Yeah,
fuck
anyway,
life.
so Fahrenheit.
Fuck David Cage.
I think Fahrenheit has not stood the test of time. I think it's racist.
Just like David Cage.
If you play any of the black guy sections, it's like, oh, I play basketball. Oh, I listen to disco music.
Well, he's French, so of course he's racist. No, I'm joking. It's not like so like I've been binge watching One Punch Man because I've never watched it before. Me and my girlfriend have been binge watching it since we got the internet. And there's a black character in it. I can't remember his name, but he's really funny. And I was like, oh, it's kind of racist. And I went, no, it's actually making fun of the stereotypes in anime of how the black dude's always like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, jigga, 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 you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's different. When you're making fun of the stereotyping, it's completely different. Like there's a way to do it so that you're not being racist yourself, you're making fun of the racism. It's like
exactly.
Making...
That's what a lot of, say, like Blazing Saddles is like.
Yeah, or... was it Black Dynamite, where it was basically making fun of blaxploitation films? It's like making fun of like blaxploitation films from the 70s.
Yeah,
you know, that's different. Like when you're making fun of the stereotype, it's different. It's a grey area. You've got to get it right. But yeah, David Cage, but Fahrenheit as well is like, yeah, I guess I'll go down to the Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know, it'd be like that, and going, please
like
don't. Like, I'm black, so I play basketball. That's all we do. No, you don't. Stop it.
Even the way he walks, you watch footage, even the way he walks is kind of like he's disco dancing. It's just insane.
Yeah, my favorite movie, Black Dynamite. It's serious, in a comedy. In Fahrenheit, the Fahrenheit universe, it's not a comedy. It's a documentary. According to David Cage, but.
Something I forgot to mention is this episode is all about the Grudge, as you can tell.
Everyone's got a
so
grudge.
There will be spoilers about both Ju-on the Grudge and the Grudge, the American remake. I think we're going to do a bit of a compare and contrast as well, which will be really good. So ideally you will have watched those before we begin, but we'll be doing that in a little while anyway.
Not to be confused with Ju-on the Curse, which is a prequel, which was made before the Grudge, which I found out today. Yeah, there's two of them: Ju-on the Curse and Ju-on the Curse 2, Ju-on the Grudge, and then it had its own. So yeah, I found out today.
Well, son of a bitch, I want to watch them. It's your choice. You choose those movies.
No,
I'm gonna choose your choice.
No, too much Grudge.
I definitely think I'm all grudged out.
Really? Oh. I don't know. For me, I honestly can't get enough. Like, I could when I saw it in theaters. That shit scared me for like days. But
never again.
Never again. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But then and I know I've mentioned this before in the podcast, but Killer Instinct has a character named Masako, who is basically a grudge monster with a spear. And when I saw her for the first time in an arcade cabinet, because I was like, I'm not going to play Killer Instinct. There's no way they could top the original, blah, 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 blah. And then I happened to be in an arcade, and there was a Killer Instinct cab with an Xbox One in there. So it was actually like a fabricated scenario where you just, whatever. It wasn't like a legit cabinet. But I saw Killer Instinct being played, and it was like doing a demo reel, and I saw Hisako, and I was like, they add a fucking grudge monster to this game? Holy shit! I've got to play it right now. So
holy shit!
I snapped myself in there, and are you looking at her? Because she's amazing.
Yep.
And
that is cool.
I got in there, and I was like, what could her moves be? What the hell? But then you double tap forward for a forward dash, and she spider crawls really quickly and low to the ground. And that helps you get under projectiles. And then she also has a teleport where she sinks into the floor and comes up behind you. But it makes this.
She's pretty cool.
It makes this weird kind of noise, which is just unsettling to hear. And her entire moveset is based on counter grabbing. So she has two moves where she can counter a high attack or a low attack, and then go into a combo from there. Or she has one where it's a command grab that she can that is grab invulnerable for a frame. So if somebody tried to grab you and you did the counter grab would always trade in her favor. So she's always sticky, she's sticky and grabbing on you all the time. And if she has to get in, she has that big fucking spear, and she's got a lot of range on it, and she's creepy, and I love her to death. And then from that point on, I was like, I need to watch The Grudge again, because there's no way I can have a joyous feeling for Hisako and then also be terrified of Kayako. So I will, when we ended up watching it, we'll talk about that later. My TLDR though, I am more in love with the concept now than I was before. It may even be my favorite movie monster, air quotes, from now on, for me.
Yeah, I think it's a I think I probably feel the same. Not in the sense of being like my favorite, but just I mean that I like it more now than I did before, and especially the concept.
Yeah.
Concept's great.
You know, if you throw her, like, compare her against, like, Jason and Freddy and Michael Myers and all that kind of stuff, they're basically all the same concept. You know, unbeatable, undestroyable, always ever-present kind of murderer ghost or whatever. But with Kayako, it just feels, like, sincere. I don't know. Like, with, like, Jason, there's no emotion. It's like, I'm going to kill you, and because we're filming this shit, I'm going to make it creative. Michael Myers is just like, I'm going to kill you. And then Freddy's like, hi, bitch. But like, with Kayako, it's like you almost feel so bad for her because of what she went through, but she doesn't feel like that at all to you. She wants to take you to hell or something. And plus there's like mystery to it. Like, because I don't know all the answers, I don't know what she really does to your soul. I don't know like really what her mechanics are, like what she can do, what she can't do. That just keeps it interesting because you can move around with that information. Like in the Grudge, like Ju-on, there's a point where like some of that anger feeling gets emanated to a living person, and in the Grudge 2 American version, there's like a scene where like a husband and wife are getting mad at each other over breakfast, and she pours hot bacon grease on his head and then slams him with the frying pan, and that's because of her influence. And yeah, that wasn't really in the first movie so much, so like they're just expanding on the concept and it still fits. So I'm like, yeah, you know, I like it. I like this stuff. Anyway, I don't want to keep going into it because we'll just transition straight into the Grudge.
And being on topic is just so alien to us. We need to stall for a bit.
Right. Well, I do have something else I'd like to talk about, but I'd like to give you guys the opportunity to say something before I carry on into something bigger.
Something.
Well, I haven't played or watched really anything horror-based. I've been living in Far Cry 5's Hope County for about 2 weeks now.
Right. It's so hard to be afraid of anything when you're surrounded by so much freedom.
Exactly. And if anybody is not being free, I will kill them to make sure that they're free. I roll up into town with my explosives and my, you know, sort of high caliber weapons, and I shoot the shit out of everybody.
Well, they fire freedom bullets, don't they? So
yeah. Well, it's funny. I know the game is playing with it because I had this one mission where this lady's going, oh, they stole a truck. It's called the Widowmaker. It used to belong to my pa. Can you go get it back? It will really piss them off if you get it back. So I was like, okay. So, yeah, I know. I guess it's about morale or something. I don't know. So I trek over to this garage where it's supposed to be. And I prefer in this game to be stealthy until the whistle gets blown or something happens. Say someone sees me taking someone out. So I stealthily kind of walked around this compound. It's got the thing from Metal Gear Solid 5 where you can kind of like use your binoculars to tag weapons and enemies and stuff. Yeah, so I went around the whole camp tagging everybody, and then I was slowly working my way down, killing them one by one. Climbed up on top of the garage that this thing is in, and climbed in through the window, because I was like, maybe there's someone in the garage as well. I was being like super stealth. So I get in there, and I jump down to where this truck is, and they didn't tell me it was an 18-wheeler, like, massive truck.
Oh, wow.
And on the side is, like, spray-painted, like, eagles and the American flag. And you get in this thing and then drive through the garage doors. They fall down. You drive through the compound gates because they're locked, so you have to. Obviously. And then it says, on the way back home, why don't you just drive through a load of like blockades they've made? and why don't you just use your horn? Because the horn is just like this big fuck off horn. So you just drive through these blockades of people, stuff exploding everywhere, and you're going like, freedom. I love that. Yeah, it's good fun.
Why don't you murder people while you're out there? That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Is there anything more American than that?
They're all baddies. So it's
killing your fellow American. Some God-given right.
The one thing that annoys me about this game, though, and it's not really a plot spoiler because it's something you find out really early on, is that they aren't just kind of like brainwashing people. They are literally brainwashing people with like this chemical.
Oh.
And I feel like the game, I don't know if they were kind of scared, with like terrorism and everything else to kind of go there, but I think it would have been interesting. I don't think they needed that device to say this is why the people join this cult. You can just join without being mind controlled with drugs.
Well, that's the thing, is you're not the first person to say that. I've seen that a lot. People saying it's really, it's a shame that they didn't have the stones really to do it, because that's the thing, is like, the cults on their own can be, if it's something like that, can be quite intimidating, where it's just like, look, this guy is just so charismatic that he's just bringing one to his side. But the minute you like, oh, but they're on drugs, you just kind of go, that's...
I don't know if you guys have seen the opening, but the opening, it basically involves, you're in a helicopter with your, I don't know, you're a rookie. They keep calling you rookie. It's a very easy way so they don't have to, you can be male or female and they don't have to worry about like pronouns and stuff.
Like the stick of truth. It's a douchebag.
And so you're flying in by helicopter into this county to arrest this guy, the leader of the cult. So I didn't know anything about this Bliss, the drug is called Bliss, until maybe 20-30 minutes into the game. So we just dropped down in this place. They're all at church singing. It's nighttime. They're all armed. There are dogs barking. It's like we're walking through like this valley of the shadow of death, I guess. And we open the church and walk to the front where he's delivering a sermon. He says, "You won't take me. God won't let you." And it's like, whoa. And there's a secret ending where you can kind of like not arrest him and walk away. I think that's like a Far Cry staple, if I'm aware. I think you can do that in 4 as well. But if you don't do that, then you've got to lead him out through all these people, and they're like really angry, and they're like, "What you doing with the father?" And it's really intimidating, really scary. And then, oh, by the way, it's a drug.
Because that does that. If it's just because that's what they all believe, that's far scarier, and that's way more intimidating than, but you see, if they weren't on the drug, we can wean them off of it, because it becomes such an easy, simple solution, because it's like a really nice out in terms of storytelling. You just go, yeah, but you don't understand, like, once we get rid of that guy, then it will all be solved, because they won't have the drug anymore. Whereas if it was all like a cult and there were people that really believed, you'd get rid of him, and it wouldn't really solve anything.
Yeah. You still have like retribution from the followers,
Yeah, precisely. It's just, I don't know. I think that feels like they were part way through making it, and with the way everything's going at the moment, I think someone might have said, "Yeah, let's not do that."
Yeah, I think it's politically much softer for them to say that it's a drug. Yeah. And I guess that's why they've done it, to kind of err on the side of not being controversial.
Yeah. Just have the balls and say some people are just dickheads.
Yeah.
Some people are just arseholes. Stop making like excuses. Like when someone does something horrible and it's really horrible, they do it because they're just nasty.
Yeah.
If there's no reason for it, like they're just horrible.
Some people just want to watch the world burn, right?
That's right, Mr. Wayne.
Well, I will make a slight correction. Only 3 people want to, because the character models in this game are extremely limited. I always feel like I'm shooting the same 3 guys over and over and over again.
Ubisoft cutting corners? No.
Yeah.
No.
And the other thing I will say, if you're going to play this game, is stay off the roads. Like, major stay off the roads. If you're on a road, someone, like an enemy, will drive along within 20 seconds. It's seriously stupid. Like, say if I've saved the game and I kind of load back into the game, I'm on a road and I'm like, oh yeah, what was I doing? What was my objective? And while I'm like literally standing there for a second getting my bearings, a car will turn up. You'll get the little icon that shows that someone's discovered you and you're getting shot at. And it's like every 20 seconds. I'm not even joking.
That's been a problem for Far Cry games since Far Cry 2. Because I remember Far Cry 2 was a big thing because you remember the fire mechanic, like, it spreads like real fire. Whoa! Like, yeah, doesn't mean it's a good game, does it?
Yeah, I think I played a couple of hours of it back when it came out.
Yeah, I liked it. When I first started playing it, I was like, wow, this is great. And then I got like 2 hours in, and I was like, wow, this is just the same shit. And that had the same problem of driving along, for fuck's sake, get out, kill them. Okay, get back in my car. bang, bang, bang. Okay, right, get out. It got to the point I got so annoyed, and they just started lobbing grenades at them. Like, fuck off. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm done.
I like the horn honking in that story. At some point, it's like, beep, beep, bah, 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 bah. It's like, oh, I shouldn't have honked the horn. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I mean, that's just what I think they do it because then it's like, see, there's constant action. And also, I think it's just in case you're out in the middle of nowhere and you need a car. But still, there's better ways to do that. Just have abandoned vehicles every now and then.
It's definitely the here's some action theme because like Ubisoft also makes Assassin's Creed, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to put my foot in my mouth on that one, but I think ever since Assassin's Creed 2, they had pickpockets that would like snatch your shit and run away, and you have to go chase after them.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, that's to keep you in action mode, you know? If you're not doing anything specific or if you're on the way to somewhere and then snatch, turn around and go chase after the pickpocket, it's like, you know what? Fuck it. He can have my 30 pesos or whatever. And I'm just going to keep going to my objectives. Florence, thank you. I couldn't remember, so I just threw out a currency. He can have my 30 yen. I don't give a shit.
I get this.
So, and I started noticing because me and my buddy were playing it together, and he can't let go of the thief. He has to chase after it. It's like throwing a bone to a dog. Yeah, he's like, "Arrrrgh!" He goes after it. And I'm just like, this is the reason we never get anything done. We chase this guy all the way across Italy or Japan or wherever we are, and and we catch him, kill him, get our 30 quid, and then turn around and go back the way we came for another like 2-3 minutes until somebody else robs us.
Yep.
And then we chase after that guy, and it's like, this is, you know what? Ignore it forever. Just stay on the rooftops forever. Get to your objective. Finish the game. And yeah, I'm not surprised at all that Far Cry 5 or apparently 2, 3, and 4 are the same way.
But I think it's a problem with open world games as well, like big sandbox games. Like they feel like, well, there always has to be something going on. Like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, they fill it with busy work.
Yeah, I think Rockstar tend to do it better. Like there are still things like that, but they're always so scattered around, and it doesn't always affect you. Like in 5, one of the random things that can happen is you can see someone like having their purse stolen, and then you can track them down, kill them, which is what I always do because I just run into them.
And then you can take the purse or you can return it.
Yeah, and it's just like, hey, that's a neat little thing instead of it just like outwardly affecting you. Let's go, stay on your toes. Like sometimes I just want it to be nice and quiet. Yeah. Because I'm going towards to do something important.
Yeah.
Too many distractions can be a massive issue in some games.
Yeah. I don't know, like Grand Theft Auto 5, I've played it for like a few hours, and I shut out everything and just drive. Because the thing is, like, I love the fact that you can play first-person mode in that game.
Yeah,
it really draws me in, and I feel bad whenever I like murder somebody because I feel like I looked into their eyes when I killed them.
Yep.
But also like the driving, it's like you can drive through California, and it's first person view the whole time. It's kind of nice. You can follow the traffic laws and look left and right. You can see all the details on the inside. Now I haven't actually beaten that game because when I'm not focusing on just having fun driving, there's so many nodes on the map, so many people blowing up my phone. And I can't concentrate. I get overwhelmed. It's like a whole lot of interference in my mind. Like, what do I do first? What matters? Nothing matters. So if this doesn't matter, why do I play this game at all? Like existential crisis. At one point, I played enough of the game to get to. I hate this. I can't remember is his name Franklin?
Franklin, yeah.
Franklin? Okay.
Yeah, Franklin.
I couldn't remember his name, but I got to the point where he was home, hanging out with his aunt. And you can smoke weed, and you can drink a beer, and you can watch TV. I did that for an hour. The best part was because like this was still when he had the job as a repo man, and the boss would call every 10 seconds. And I would just hang up on him every 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds while I'm watching this subversive anime parody on TV, getting wasted and high. It's like, ring, ring, ring. Oh, it's that guy. Click. And it just became so much more fun to hang up on the boss because I can't do that in real life. And just, that was the best part. After that, I was like, I don't need to play the rest of this game. I think I had the most fun I could have with it.
That's one thing I will say about GTA as well, is that, yeah, it does have the distractions of like other sandbox games as well, but a lot of the time, you can, like, the phone calls, you just go, fuck off, and hang up.
Yep. I'm watching my anime with my like anime girl in like a really tiny bikini, yelling at some old man who's so obviously a pervert. You know, all that stuff.
Like, the TV stuff in GTA 5 is actually genuinely really entertaining and funny.
It is, yeah. It was
It's
like
crazy.
GTA 4 had like an entire stand-up special with Cat Williams. Like,
Yeah.
you could watch that in GTA 4, and I was like, this is awesome. Why would I leave the house? I've got all this content right here.
It was, I think, in one of the DLC packs, one of the expansions for GTA 4, Ricky Gervais was one of the comedians. I was like, that's cool. Stuff like that's really cool.
Yeah,
It makes the game world feel alive.
Yeah, like I hang out in my my cousin's roach-filled apartment and watch Ricky Gervais on TV. That's what I paid $60 for.
I'm gonna bust out one of my film studies words that if my lecturers are listening now, apart from wondering what the hell I'm doing with my life, they'll probably be very proud. The word is verisimilitude, which like the example I always use, or they used when they taught it to me, is that like say like a soap on TV like EastEnders or Coronation Street or whatever, they'll put like pop music from the day, like current pop music in the background, and that kind of like lends this air of reality, sort of like, or verisimilitude, I guess also means like very almost kind of like similar. So yeah, having, you know, being able to see like Ricky Gervais on the TV just like makes the world feel more lived in and real and sort of similar to ours.
Yeah,
Verisimilitude.
They even had that in GTA 3. Like, I actually drove a what was that car called? Banshee, with the racing stripe on it. I drove a Banshee all the way to like the edge of a cliff, and I just listened to Chatterbox.
Oh, Chatterbox!
I love Chatterbox.
Yeah, like it's an hour. It's a solid hour of comedy that just loops, and like I hated listening to it and driving to a place and getting out while I'm interested. So it was 4 a.m. I wanted to go to bed, but I'm gonna listen to Chatterbox, and I did that, and it was just a lot of fun. This is so funny.
I think one of my favorite bits in the Chatterbox, on the Chatterbox radio station, is when there's that really like patriotic Southern American who's calling in and complaining about the English, like they say the English word's wrong. It's like like when he goes, they say aluminium instead of aluminum.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's always stuck in my mind. It's just aluminium instead of aluminum.
Yeah.
He's just moaning and has those like, you do know that they it's called English because they invented the language. He's like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Fancy Pants, man. And talking about the Australian Civil War, and because it's like the in the GTA universe, is that war that took place with Australia or something.
Yeah.
You weren't there for the Australian War.
I have little bits of Chatterbox like come to me occasionally. Like there's this bit where this guy's he's going like, I tried to create a Pekingese fighting squirrel or something like for years, and it's impossible, I tell you.
It's impossible. I tell you.
He's like, thanks for that.
And of course,
Fernando's New Beginning.
Yes.
New Beginnings.
I'm probably going to find Chatterbox on YouTube and watch it. Just listen to it after this.
Yeah.
I've done that at work before. I've just listened to it when I've been doing work before, and it holds up really well. It's really funny.
I remember one where it's like a lady who hates cell phones and communication and all that kind of stuff, and she's formed a club around the concept. There's only a few members, and the way they communicate with each other is through carrier pigeon, because they hate cell phones and letters and everything except carrier pigeon is the only way they can do it. But that leads into another joke where you have that same redneck guy who's like, I saw a pigeon once and I shot it down and it had a little message on it, and it was like a fortune cookie with wings.
Yes, I remember that.
It was like, wow, it's so cool. That might have been like the first time I really noticed a setup and a payoff in a comedy routine. You know, that was really funny.
So, yeah. I don't think enough people give the GTA series credit for being as funny as it is.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of really smart stuff in there. I mean, obviously everyone knows it for all the violent comedy and the dark humor and stuff like that. But there's some genuinely really funny moments.
In 3 as well, quite a lot of the pop songs on that pop station are like parodies of like early 2000s pop. And you know, like I forget which song it is, but there's one where he goes like, when I wake up with a bulldog next to me or something, and there's like this barking noise.
Yeah.
I always remember that part. I'm looking at the script for Chatbox now, actually.
Do you guys want to just
like...
stop horror stuff and do a Grand Theft Auto podcast?
The intricacies of
I remember this.
Chatterbox.
Squirrels is not so good. They taste like goldfish. Meat's real stringy.
It tastes like goldfish.
God.
That's a man who'll eat anything. He's like, if it got meat on or around it, I'll eat it.
Oh my god. There we go. I'm looking at one now where it's the same. It's the southern guy again. He says, countries that don't have guns ain't American.
We do have guns.
This was the bit I was trying to remember. All right, next caller, you're on Chatbox. What's on your mind? Turnips, root vegetables, albino carrots as they're known back home. And he goes, this isn't gardening with Maurice, that's on later. And the guy goes, no, he got taken off the air. He lied. I know he did. I've been trying to make a hybrid of a peach and a Pekingese midget fatten bitch for the last 2 years.
Oh, man.
Welcome to the Chatterbox podcast.
Oh, that's so good.
Like, seriously, there's so much content in the Grand Theft Auto universe. You could easily do a podcast forever.
Oh my god, I completely forgot this part. It's the bit where he's talking to a caller and he's like, when I was a boy, I had a nanny. She was very strict.
I remember this.
The English guy.
I remember how it sounds, the bit where he goes, how old is your son? He goes, excuse me, how old is your son? I said, I don't have children. I can't stand the little brats. But Freddie needs a nanny. And then it goes Oh, God.
Oh, man.
All right, I'm shutting this tab because otherwise...
all day with that
God.
shit. We'll just be quoting it, and then by the time we get to the end of that quote, we'll forget we'll remember the original stuff and just loop the whole thing again.
We'll loop the whole thing again, yeah.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of reading and speaking of getting back on topic, I spent 7.5 hours watching Super Great Friend go through Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh, that.
Is that like one of those like dating sims? Is it like a...
You don't know much about it?
I know about it. I haven't played it, but I know it. I know what it devolves into.
You might enjoy some of it. I don't know. I'm not going to judge. It's not poorly made. It's just I was told through SGF that it was a horror game. Yeah. And obviously the cover art's all like cute and anime stuff, so I'm like, whatever. I'd like to see this. I don't know what's going on with this game, so I'll just see how it goes. 4 hours of it is straight dating sim.
Yeah, that's
okay.
The first 4 hours are like legit serious dating sim. Like you join a literature club that happens to have 4 cute girls in it, and you basically choose which one you like. And I was like, this is supposed to be a horror game, and I don't know how SGF put up with it for as long as he did, because I mean he was playing it jovially. He's not like a this game sucks kind of guy. But I was like, I was originally going to watch it while I was working out at the gym, but I didn't want people seeing me watch that shit. So that's a different horror story all by itself. So instead, I was like, all right, fine. I'll just, it was Saturday morning. I had nothing else to do. It was 2 a.m. I was like, I'm not trying to go to sleep. I'm just going to watch this and see what the horror is. TLDR, the horror comes in about 4.5 hours in, and it's basically like something happens, like a suicide happens, and then the game starts glitching. And the glitches lead into a side story on top of the original story, and the original story keeps repeating itself because the glitches keep happening, and eventually like there's a personality that comes through and talks to you, the player, and it's more like a dating sim that dates you, but with horror elements.
Okay.
I don't recommend any of you play it, so I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. But
yeah, I don't mind.
I figured I'd say that because it is, like, if you're interested, it is worth watching it to see it organically done. But that was your spoiler warning. Here we go. Okay. The main character is friends with a girl named Sayori. Sayori is like, let's go to the literature club, hee hee. So you go to the literature club, and she's like, I'm so glad you're part of the literature club. Days pass. During that transition, Sayori becomes more and more quiet. Eventually, she stays home, and she's critically depressed. Like, I've just recently gone through a depression episode that I never saw coming and didn't understand how deep depression can actually go. This accurately represented that in like a haunting way, like where you feel disconnected from all emotions. You feel them, but they don't matter, you know. And suicide is the only thing on your mind. So she kills herself, but she kills herself like because you start dating one of the girls of the literature club. Like, the very beginning of a relationship happens. Like, you don't kiss or anything, but you baked cookies together or some shit. And then as she's leaving, Sayori shows up, like, hi, I didn't realize Natsuki was here. You know, fingers pressed against each other. And then she's talking to you, and you want to comfort her, so you have the choice of telling her that you love Sayori or that she's your best friend. SGF chose the I love you as an option. And that's where like it really hit home, because that didn't matter to Sayori because she's still so very fucking depressed. She goes home, hangs herself.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's when the game finally picks up, but it takes 4 hours to get there.
Yes, that's too much time.
It's way too much time. So it's almost like you kind of come for the dating sim and then you stay for the horror show. But after that, the game like starts over, and then on the title screen, Sayori's not there anymore. And then you start playing the game and nobody mentions Sayori. Monica brings you into the literature club instead, and Sayori never existed. Natsuki doesn't know who Sayori is. Yuri doesn't know who Sayori is. You don't know who Sayori is. So it's like she got deleted, right? And that's the basic premise, is that Monica is manipulating the game code to force you to love her over the others. And eventually she causes like Yuri to cut herself. And it gets kind of verbally graphic, like some stuff that I'm kind of embarrassed to say. So, I mean, and I'm not embarrassed to say a whole lot, but she like Yuri steals your pen because your skin oil is on it, and then she rigorously applies it to herself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting a picture.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
And then like Natsuki, nothing happens to her in that phase. I think it depends on how you play the game, determining what happens to which girl, though. Eventually, Natsuki gets deleted, Yuri gets deleted, Monica's the only one there. She deletes the rest of the game, and she's like staring at you through the game monitor and just telling you stuff. And apparently there's like an hour or more of just random dialogue where she's looking into your eyes lovingly because she loves you so much that she has killed everything else to be with, just to hold your attention. And the interesting thing is that if you load the game at that point, that's all you come to. You can't save the game. You can't reload an old save. Every time you play the game, it just goes back to that point. And she just keeps talking to you because you come back to her. And it's like, wow, you know, like if I really gave a shit about this universe, these kinds of games, that would actually be kind of creepy. Yeah. She happens to mention offhand that like all the character files, or all the character files are in the character folder, so it was really easy to delete characters. So you go into your game, your computer, go to the game folder and delete her character file, and that's what beats the game. And then the game starts all over again.
See, that is cool. And see, this is the thing where you were saying how it takes so long to get to the horror stuff. That's why I think it's such a mistake for people to, because like I've seen people recommend it to friends.
Yeah.
And I see them going, oh no, it's great, it's a horror title. Right there and then they've ruined it for them.
Yeah. And I think this is a problem in general with
Because
like movies and is that there's always, the problem is it's very hard to be surprising as to what the thing is, because partially there will be some people who will just be annoyed that they were sold one thing and then they went and saw another. So if you want to have like this kind of bizarre twist halfway in and turn everything on its head, you've got to mark it very carefully, because some people will be annoyed, like I said. Other people, will lose interest because they can't get past the bit. So you kind of want to tease them towards it, say it's worth it, but at the same time go, I can't tell you why it's worth it.
Yeah.
You just need to get through it.
Yeah. But 4 hours is too long.
It is.
And it wasn't,
and that's why it's a detriment.
I'm sorry, just real quick. It wasn't that SGF dragged ass through the story. It's just, he clicked through some of the dialogue, He commented when he felt necessary to comment, and there you go. It was an organic playthrough, so it was a legit 4 hours unless you were going to speed run by clicking through everything. Anyway, sorry, Matt.
No, so that's what I was saying. That's why it's such a detriment to when I see people outright saying to their friends, "No, it's a horror game. You'll love it." Like that's such a detriment because you've got to go through 4 hours of regular dating sim until it gets to the good stuff. I think if you trim 2 hours off of that, even 2 hours might be pushing it, but you trim 2 hours off of it, because you can play something like that in an hour, or maybe even an hour. So let's say an hour until the weird shit starts happening. Because I think it'd still be effective. Yeah, I mean, you're like, well, what the fuck is going on? Like, because you can easily play if you've got like three hours to spare, and you're bored, and you don't want to play any games on your console or your PC, and there's just like this. There's a game like this. You go, I can put something like that on for an hour. I'll fuck around with this. See what funny things I can do, and then it turns into this really dark, weird, surreal horror game, and that's going to be so much more impactful instead of having to sit through 4 hours of it. Because if you don't like that type of game, if you don't want to spend that much time on a dating sim, you're not going to do it. You're not going to want to sit through 4 hours just to get to good shit.
Yeah, I mean,
taking the piss.
Exactly. Like, and knowing that it was a horror game going in, I honestly didn't want to develop any kind of feelings for any of the characters. I knew something bad was going to happen. It still was effective regardless, though. I mean, I'm not going to say, like, the game is well written for what it's trying to do. I will not take anything from that. In fact, like, once you've beaten the game, Monica kind of resurfaces, and, like, during the credit scroll, she has a voice, and she speaks to you, and she sings a song done to the melody of the actual game's, like, dialogue melodies, like the Candy Sweet music you hear in the background. It's done in that, like, on that track. So it's really effective at the end, too. Like, you still feel like, okay, Monica's real or whatever, and she sounds more real because she actually has a voice, whereas there's no voice in the game up to that point. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool, and it's free, apparently. So if you want to check it out, it's free. So
that's good. And that is cool, because, and again, like you were saying, you can get attached to any of the characters. That's the problem. Is again when someone says to their friend, "Oh, play Doki Doki Literature Club, like it's a really cool horror game." Immediately, because you say horror, they go, "Okay, what's going to happen?" Like, "Oh, I'm looking out for the horror stuff. I'm looking out for the horror stuff. I'm looking out for the horror stuff."
Yeah.
It's very hard though, because even if you didn't mention that, even if you said, "Look, play Doki Doki Literature Club," and they go, "Why?" and you go, "Just trust me." Or even just stick with it. Like, they know that something is up. I guess that's probably the only way. You have to say something, otherwise, like you were saying, 4 hours is a long time. But
4 hours is certainly long enough to forget there was anything to watch out for.
That's true. Yeah, it might lull people into a kind of a false sense of security in that regard.
It's a lot of time to put into something. Yeah. Especially if you really don't like that type of gameplay.
I wouldn't sit down and play a dating sim for 4 hours.
No.
Oh, God,
I would have to know that there was something else to it.
Yeah.
That's the trap, that was all I knew.
That's the trap. They've got to market it as a horror game to get people to sit through the 4 hours.
Yeah. So
because the dating sims are a real niche market.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they cater to lonely people, basically.
Yeah.
You know? Like, why would I play a dating sim if my girlfriend was here? You know?
Hey, do you play dating sim with me?
Yeah.
Look at this cute girl.
Jesus Christ, yeah. Which cute girl should I date? And she's like, me! The fuck are you doing, you goddamn weeb? Oh.
I'm sorry, honey.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's not cheating, she's not real.
Yeah, it's just that you're a little too real for me.
You're like too real for me, and like I like women that can't actually shout at me.
You can't shout at me.
Can't chastise me.
Oh wow, that's funny. So yeah, I just like after I saw that, I was like, I've got to talk about this. It's so crazy, but it's again like all the crazy stuff is still few and far between, even after the suicide part. Like there's like the character art will just glitch, or sometimes they'll like scroll past the screen unnecessarily, just to let you know that there's some shit going on. And it's like I said, it's well written because Monica mentions that she's not very good at this. So for there to be glitches makes a lot of sense. Like she's not really good at like self-hacking her own universe. Who is?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Like she even mentioned, she's got an evil side to her too. She mentions that like when she caused Sayori to hang herself, she accidentally screwed it up, and Sayori felt like pain and suffering through the ordeal instead of like the instant painless death scenario that she was looking for. So
God.
yeah, it's just it's interesting, but I wouldn't want more of these games. You know, like I hope it doesn't start like, oh wow, like like a meme or something. Oh wow, apparently like creepypasta games are big. Let's make more creepypasta games.
Well, they definitely are, because I've just YouTubed to see if because I thought it would be interesting to, even if I don't play it, at the very least watch a Let's Play so that I can see how this game does it, because the way you've described it is really interesting, so I want to see how it like actually plays out.
Yeah.
And the first hits are Jacksepticeye, Game Grumps.
Fuck that guy too. Well, here, just I remembered it in case you guys wanted to know. I believe it's video number 7, SGF, 7 out of 13. You know, if you want to just cut the crap, start 7.
Okay, cool.
And then you can start seeing all the crazy stuff.
I probably will check out some of the earlier stuff, but yeah, I will skip around so I don't have to see all of it.
Yeah, it's definitely just super sweet.
Oh, PewDiePie did it as well, so yeah.
Fucking course he did.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so scary. Ah!
Yeah.
I'm going to scream at the camera.
Yeah.
And this thing's like, I will admit freely, I used to watch the guy when he was genuine. Like, when he was playing a game, you could tell he was genuinely scared. And he would kind of bumble around, and it didn't feel like he's screaming just because he feels like he should. Like, a lot of the time it was like, little yelps of start when you startled.
Yeah,
not,
I gather it started off kind of like organic, but then became like a marketing. Like, people realised that they could do this to get people to watch them.
Yeah, like, if I scream really loudly and say, scariest game ever, ?
I'm one of those cool hipsters who can say, I've never watched PewDiePie. I don't think I've even watched a single video.
I'll admit some of his older stuff was genuinely entertaining because it felt like he was being him. Mm-hmm. It felt like it was like watching a dude play it, and now it just feels like almost like an actor doing it. Like, it feels like a performance now, as opposed to this guy is clearly just playing a horror game and he's having fun.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I guess play this game because it's got jump scares in it. Scariest game ever? ? So, it's really scary when something just screams at me.
The problem is that like he has inadvertently built a brand that he must now maintain for his career.
Yep.
So yeah, he's as trapped as we are with the idea. Like, he can't stop because it's making him money, and we can't like overthrow him because he's too big. So yeah, it's just a weird thing. Like, I don't think he ever started intending that he was going to build a brand that's going to make him stupid amounts of money. And after a while, you just have to maintain it. You got to keep going. Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Play number 372. Today we're playing the scariest game ever. And
literally what it's called.
Yeah.
Even with the question mark as well.
Yeah. So then he's like, oh, I never saw this before. I'm screaming and scared. Oh my god.
Oh look, something jumped up at the scream and was really loud. Kill me.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you subscribe with the code below to I don't know,
then
Nerdbox.
Yeah, Nerdbox.
I can't remember what the Red Letter Media one is called.
Is it
it
Nerd
might be
Crate?
something like that. Yeah, that's the podcast, but like I think they had like a pretend deal for a crate, but they had a silly name for it. I can't remember what it is.
Oh man.
I can't remember. I've seen, and this is a tangent, I saw a video, a compilation video the other day of comparing him to all the people they make fun of, like Collider and the lot, and it's a fucking bang on impression. Like, they are absolutely lampooning these sad bastards. It's like they did the whole thing of like, now one of my sleeper hits of the year is this independent horror film because I think it's different to what some people are expecting. Like, and personally, I was really surprised, and I thought it was really good personally. And Jesus Christ, it's fucking spot on. This is insane. And I hope they continue to make more because this is fucking good.
I do. It's always a joy in my YouTube subscription list when one of those pops up.
Yeah.
Because you know it's going to be really, really funny. Wasn't there like someone from Collider or one of them that threw like a massive bitch fit because of it?
Did they?
I heard something online. They were like, "It's so funny."
Oh god, that's the one
Like-
thing you do not want to do. If someone makes fun of you, roll with it.
Yep.
Anything else, you'll look so
And
stupid.
if you don't
'Cause
learn
when you
that
get-
in
if
high
you do-
school, then you'll never learn it.
Because
Yeah.
the second you throw your toys out the pram like that, because it instantly becomes funnier because it shows you take yourself way too fucking seriously.
Yeah.
When all you do is sit in front of a camera going, "Let's talk about these movies." Like don't take it too seriously. Like if someone's making fun of you, that's fine. It's fine. Like
Yeah.
so what? It's publicity. to a certain
To
extent.
be honest, like unless it's really, really scathing and bad, you
It's
should
literally like wearing vaginas
just
in
treat
their
it as
faces.
kind of like chuffed almost. Like, wow, people watch me enough to parody me.
Right.
Yeah, to make a video.
know? Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't hold a grudge about all that stuff anyway.
Or should I say,
Yes! Yes, say it! Say it! Ah,
say it?
man. That popping, like, the noise stuff, that really unnerved me after I saw that movie in the theaters. But now it's like,
Yeah.
yes, that's my anthem!
That's the sound.
Scary
That's the
Japanese
sound.
women for the win!
She did the sound. The thing's like, can you imagine like these conventions? You get these people going, "Can you do the sound?" And she'd be like, "No, because it wasn't me doing it. It's the fucking director."
You're like, hey, baby, tonight, you think you can make the sound for me?
She's like, "No, not that one. That's disappointment."
Yeah.
No, I know, but I am.
Like, can you crawl on all fours, like, backwards?
Can you just like wrap yourself in plastic?
Whoa.
No, not again. Wrapped in plastic.
Yeah. So The Grudge and Ju-on.
Yes. Your choice, Chris.
Yeah, my choice. I'm so glad it turned out well, honestly, because I thought that I'd just be like terrified again, unable to sleep for 4 days, with the lights on, with the lights off. I mean, like that's what literally happened to me. I was like, lights on all day, every day, no darkness anywhere for about 4 days before my brain finally settled in. So I wanted to watch it again and see if I would still be unnerved by it, and I wasn't. I legitimately enjoyed it. It helped that I had my fiance like on my phone. We're just like talking to each other and sharing information, because for her, she saw Ju-on first, and for me, I've only ever seen The Grudge before the podcast thing. So we were comparing notes, and she said that Ju-on was better because it worked with less, resources and more minimal, and like the atmosphere is stronger. And I disagree, because after watching the Ju-on movie, I was like, this is like a fan film version of The Grudge. But the ending was still equally as well. No, the ending of The Grudge and like 45-minute mark of Ju-on were still very good. The staircase scene where Kayako like comes down the stairs, and I mean, she still performed that, right? Like, I think like as an actress, she still went down the stairs that way. And I mean, if you try to do that like in real life, it's not as easy as it looks. So I thought it was really good. But yeah, I chose it to re-examine my own fears, and I found that it was actually enjoyable, and it boosted my fandom for the monster, for that particular monster.
But it's just a really simple. When you really think about it, it's a really simple concept, and it just works.
Yeah.
Just works.
Yeah, I love it.
It's this thing of it's difficult to get right in horror, because you know when you talk about like Jason Voorhees and stuff, like how it's just like he just kills people. It gets to that stage where you even forget why he's killing people. He's just doing it now just because he just does. There's a fine line in horror like that. If you get it right, it's great. If you get it wrong, you get Jason Voorhees. But in this, like, this thing is just killing people. Why? Why is it? It just is.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you handle it right, that's really scary.
Yeah.
Because you can't reason with it. It's like it's like the Terminator. You can't be bargained with. Can't be reasoned with. It's just going to kill you, and it's nothing personal.
Yeah, that's one thing that kind of surprised me. I don't know if it happened in The Grudge or if it was just in Ju-on, but there's a scene in Ju-on where like the hero or the non-dead person puts her hands over her face, and that's sort of like that was that Ju-on, yeah, and like that stopped Kayako from killing her, but then it didn't stop the guy from coming downstairs and killing her. So I was like, why did we do that? Why? That sort of ruined the mythos. I'd hate to think that all I had to do to save myself from Kayako was put my hands over my face.
Yeah, I mean that was weird, like because when she's like straight, and we're getting very very far ahead.
I don't care
She's
at
like,
all. Let's just talk about it.
When she's like stretching her arm out, she looks almost like she's asking for help.
Yeah.
And I think that's because the rage of is it Taike? I can't remember the husband's name.
Oh, he's
so strong. he's the real evil because he's the one that manifested the curse because of his fucking rage.
Yeah.
He was so angry. Yeah. And I don't know, like, because that's one thing I liked about the Japanese one as opposed to the American one is that his influence is actually seen throughout the movie. Like, there's the male character, the husband that went the family that moved in afterwards, and the husband is almost he begins to be influenced. It's, almost like a certain character from Twin Peaks. He starts to act like him, and it's almost like he's controlling him to an extent. I was like, that's interesting because
I like the fact that because obviously say the one kind of like comparison because they came out similar time, etc. is the kind of the Ring is the other major one, and in the Ring there are lots of people who do bad stuff to Sadako, but Sadako is the one ghost. And I feel like this is kind of more interesting because there are 3 ghosts in this house. There's the little boy, there's the Kayako, and then there's the husband as well. And they all have a kind of a part to play in this endless kind of cycle of kind of like going through the events over and over again. And the people who are in that house, if they would fall into those certain roles, kind of do, Yeah.
I like that in the Japanese one. In the American one, in the remake, I should say the Western remake.
I think for clarity, we'll just call the Japanese one Ju-on from now on, and we'll call whenever we mean Grudge, we'll say the US one, I guess. Yeah.
So in the Grudge, it feels more like a traditional monster in the sense where it's just the 2 ghosts, just the little kid and Kayako, and Kayako's the one that kills everyone. Whereas in Ju-on, it feels like this thing is just using them as an avatar. Because there's people, I mean, and then Kayako is usually the one that does kill them, but whenever someone is murdered, they come back, or they are controlled by this curse. And I think that's why both films work on their own, because obviously there's direct scenes in Ju-on that are just translated to the Grudge, and that's fine, and that was probably part of the director. I mean, he didn't write the screenplay for the Grudge, but he still directs it. It's still the same director, so I imagine he had a lot of input because he should. He wrote the original.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that in Ju-on it feels like this, almost like this formless thing is making them do it. It's just the rage and sorrow is this thing that's just manifested itself as these people that were murdered.
It definitely feels, it feels more like that in Ju-on, and in the Grudge, it feels more like a singular person, almost like Sadako. We have Kayako instead,
Yeah.
But I mean, the differences between the films are interesting, and I did find things that I liked and disliked in both films. I feel like both did certain things well, and so on and so forth. Like for instance, I pretty much before the cast, I finished up the Grudge, the US one, and I'd completely forgotten because it's been 10 plus years since I saw it. That Bill Pullman, like the way they kind of wrote him in, as opposed to having the daughter of the original guy who was investigating and that sort of story, they kind of tied it into him instead, and have him be the object of Kayako's kind of like unrequited love and stuff.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, I did like that. I thought that was a really cool kind of, it meant that there were less kind of like auxiliary characters like that they had to worry about, because I do feel like a problem with, well, it's not a problem, but the approach of both of these films is that they are multiple character pieces, and we're not exactly sure exactly who we are sure who we're following, because we focus on one person at a particular time. And I do like the idea that it doesn't spell it out for the audience. It doesn't go 6 months earlier, and you can kind of tell there are clues, like the way that the old mother character looks, you know, slightly less disheveled, etc. You can tell that things are happening in the past, and you can build like a kind of a linear sequence of events. But it does feel a bit kind of like, in one way it's good, because it means that the star of the show are the ghosts and the problem with the house and the fact that it all stems from that. That becomes the main character, because the other characters, we don't spend too much time with anybody particularly, and except maybe the Sarah Michelle Gellar / the other lady in the other one, the social worker.
Kiko?
Yeah, I
Or
think
Rika?
Rika, something
Rika,
like that.
Yeah.
And
It was Mariko and Rika, yeah.
yeah. So the problem I have with that approach is that you work out pretty much sort of like halfway through the movie that everyone involved with this thing is going to die. So you kind of don't have a main character to feel kind of attached to or hope that they get through it, because they're all going to die. So that to me kind of feels like that's the one thing shooting it in the foot in terms of using that structure. There are things that are interesting about that structure, but there are also things that kind of, you know, make you less invested, or at least me, you know, kind of like it's more just, oh, okay, here's the next person we're jumping to show how they get fucked up.
Yeah, I will say as well, thinking about it, I think the Grudge actually has a lower body count.
It does, because I think it has less
surprising
characters as well. It can, that way of tying Bill Pullman in at the start and everything just means that there's less people.
Yeah,
And that's surprising, because usually the remake is the one that goes, we gotta ramp it up to there's like 500 dead, whoa!
Yeah. Well, like
severed heads, whoa! You know, stuff like that.
severed heads, air guitar.
Yeah.
Like
Playing
Ju-on,
Farcry? What the fuck?
Ju-on had that one interesting scene. It stood out to me because the Kayako demon doesn't often interface with more than one person. But in Ju-on, there's a point where Izumi, that's the little girl who grows up, the daughter of the inspector, she follows a group of friends to the haunted house, and only 3 of them go into the house. Izumi stays outside, and the 3 girls get attacked all at once. It's off camera,
do, don't they?
But you know, you hear, "Oh my God, where did what's her name go?" That's her name, and then they all just start screaming, and then they all get killed at once. And I think that's how the Kayako demon latches onto Izumi, because she can see her through the window, and Izumi saw what happened to the girls. So
I thought,
yeah, that was actually kind of interesting. I just didn't think that she was ready for battle.
oh no, I think Azumi was in there, because her dad sees a vision of her when he's going into the hallway, and she's like, "Fuck it, I'm out."
I
think she doesn't go upstairs.
I did like how they kept that idea as well, sort of, in the American one.
It's like,
they
if you go
played
in
with
there,
it.
you're fucked.
Like, she could see what was happening in the past, and he he looked several times like he could see her, but then he would reach past her or whatever.
Yeah, like she like brushes his arm at one point. He's like, "How the fuck was that?"
Right. Yeah, that was really effective. Like, you didn't know what he was actually looking at, or that kind of thing. But I do like something like you mentioned, Tom, earlier about you're just waiting to see how people get fucked up. And the Grudge is like not so much in the first one, but the second and the third one. In the second one, there is a mention of a ritual that can dispel the curse.
That's a real sequel thing, isn't it? Like, we can stop it this time.
Yeah, but spoiler alert,
go ramp up.
It doesn't work. And that was
ever work in these movies, like.
Oh, but it was like the most effective thing to me, because like I was on board with it. Okay, yeah, they can dispel the curse. Sure, there's like an old mystic in a village far, far away in Japan, and like she's gonna talk to him, and that guy's gonna be like, "Here, you chew on this root while spinning in a circle, and you can dispel the curse." And so she's like, "Yeah, I'll chew on this root, spin in a circle," and she goes back, and then like everyone dies anyway, and the curse continues, and it's spread to that entire apartment complex, and everyone's dead. I was like, oh my fucking God. Grudge 3, okay, sure, I'm along for the ride. I don't really want to see this shit because I'm still terrified from it. In fact, it was like the only horror movie I'll ever admit to closing my eyes through certain sequences, because I didn't want to see that shit. Like, the Japanese are so good at putting imagery in your brain and letting it stick. But so the third one,
creepy visuals.
Yeah, the third one ended up like there's another lady who's got another ritual, and I was like, okay, this time, because it's a trilogy, they're going to dispel the curse. So they require blood from like a young girl, I guess a virgin blood or something like that. I don't know, or innocence blood. I think they require blood and like this other stuff, other fluid, and they had candles and they had a bowl, and everything was going to happen. But they all died anyway. Yeah, and the worst thing is that the lady who had the ritual turned into another grudge. There's two ghosts.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, there's two.
That's like
ghosts.
the opposite of fixing it, guys.
Yeah, it was so effective to me because I was like, oh my god, you cannot fucking deal with this bitch. You can't even like look at her. You don't need to be there. Don't think it. Don't say it. That's what was so effective. It's not like how Jason Voorhees just gets exploded and then somehow comes back because some guy eats his heart and becomes Jason.
Jesus Christ, that one.
Yeah, I'm talking like this.
That sounds batshit. I've never heard that before.
Okay, it happens. Yeah.
It happened.
But like the Grudge still holds its integrity, I guess, because the rules are never really laid in stone, and every time they try to fucking like dispel her, she just gets more powerful, and I love that shit. I don't know why. I love hating like, on that stuff.
I kind of have a vision now of like you move into a flat and it's like, oh shit, we've got grudges.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking grudges
shit.
again.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call the guy who will probably just make it worse. He'll turn into a grudge. It'll be awful.
Hey, Tony. Yeah, Tony. You didn't mention the grudges, did you? I've got like 5 of them in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up and stay over. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Stay in over there. I'm on the phone.
I'm on the phone.
They're like, well, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're all like coming at me really slowly. I'm not really too worried about. Oh my god, they're in front of me. See, that was one of the cool things about the Grudge 3 is that you have Kayako. She's got the broken neck, hence the sounds. I don't remember the other girl's name because I've only seen this movie once. But she gets her leg broken, so when she walks, she falls flat on her face. But then she gets right back up again, takes another step, falls flat on her face. And it's like, yeah, it's hilarious, but also it's like she's not stopping. And she still has all of the same powers as Kayako, so she doesn't even need to walk. But when you hear that whack, it's very sudden and very like, oh shit.
And it's getting closer and closer.
That stuff really, really like rustled my jimmies. Yeah. I loved it.
No, I mean, that's the thing, like, because I don't know if you guys know, but they made so many Ju-on movies in Japan. It got so silly to the point they did Kayako versus Sadako.
Really? What? Like?
Yes.
Oh my god! I didn't realize it got to Freddy versus Jason.
I'm
dead serious. Dead serious. Like, why would it's like we need? There's only one way to stop this curse. We've got to get another curse. Why would they fight? Why?
Well, it's like I love it because The Ring also has that thing, and I liked it at the time of kind of like. Here are the rules, here's why she's like this, here's what we need to do to fix it. We did it, except it didn't work. It just puts it off. I did kind of like that at the time. I do still kind of like that as an idea, just to kind of fuck with the audience. I like being fucked with. But yeah, not in an uncool kind of Grudge under the sheets way.
Like, come with me.
Yeah, that under the sheets stuff, that really was effective too. Because it's like, you think you're so fucking safe in your bed, bitch? I'm already in your bed.
You say it plays on the whole thing of as a kid, like, I'm scared, I'll get under my covers, I'm safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I know. I'm glad that scene is in both versions. I think it's more effective in Ju-on.
Me too.
Because the problem I had with the Grudge is that she sees the bulge. And then looks under. I'd be like, I see the bulge. I run.
Yeah, I'm doing nothing.
Instead, in Ju-on, you see it. She doesn't. And then she feels something tug at her. And that's when she looks under the covers.
Yeah.
And it's just staring at her. That's so creepy. But what's even better about that scene is they do two similar things in both versions. In the Grudge, the character has like a rabbit's foot or something. She has like a little furry thing on her phone.
Yeah.
And Kayako grabs at it for reasons and rips it off. In Ju-on, I prefer it because she's coming out of the stall, she gets a little spooked and she knocks into the stall and it falls off her bag. She goes down to pick it up, it comes out of the other stall, so she books it.
Yeah. And
then it's in the Grudge, like, she immediately notices that the thing is in her bed, whereas in Ju-on, like, she hears a sound and she's like, and then she she like looks at her hand all of a sudden and just opens it, and it's almost like the thing has just appeared in her hand, and that's really creepy because she just goes, "What the fuck?" and then she just opens it. Whereas
that version's also got the creepy TV glitch thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
which I really liked.
Yeah, that was
again,
really good.
that's creepier because again you're like, oh, I'm scared. I'll turn the TV on.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's what you would do.
Normality. Whereas I think in the Grudge, she just like turns all the lights off. I'm like, don't do that. You can't see it coming. I did like in both versions as well that I picked up with like it finds out where she lives because it calls her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, would it not have been able to find her if she didn't tell her where she was? Like, it has to know specific things about you.
The other thing I was wondering is that, like, it's weird, isn't it? Because both versions, they have the brother appear at the door, which is okay because she kind of goes, okay, I'll open the door. So is it like you have to let Grudges in to infest your apartment, or like maybe it's like something like that. I don't know. I mean, because like you have to invite it in if it's not the house or something. I don't know.
I don't know because
let me think.
Imitsu still gets killed in her house. And she tapes all the windows up. But I suppose then...
But see,
I don't know.
But see, in that scenario, it's the 3 girls who are looking at her through the window. The 3 that were killed.
Creepy.
Yeah. And that stuff actually happens in Grudge, too.
Oh, I see. It's like roll on Grudge. It's like Grudge on Grudge. Yeah. Like, it just gets worse. It snowballs.
It's like a virus. It just spreads.
Yeah,
more and more people get killed, so there's more.
Like there's the
playthings.
main character in Grudge 2 does the whole newspaper on the windows thing, and like there's points where you can see like Kayako or somebody like scratching away through the paper so she can get in. Like eventually, like she's gonna wear it out, and there's no way to fucking survive. The best part, like, the bed scene in Ju-on and Grudge where, like, she's in bed and, like, Kayako gets her anyway. The main character in Grudge 2 dies or gets killed because she's wearing a hoodie.
and her hands like come through the back of her hood.
Yeah, the hands come up through
That's
her,
cool.
like, the chest part of the hoodie, like, over her face and just yank her into the shadows, and then all the clothes just fall down. It's like, you can't even fucking wear clothes.
Yeah, you can't hide from it. And I like that. Like, it will find a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean...
Sorry, I don't know if I had a point to anything I just said. I'm just literally buzzing at the conversation because I love this shit.
You know what's great? You know what's really good? They're both really good movies.
Yeah, they are. They're both.
They're both good.
I'd actually like to own them. I don't like to own movies, but I'd like to own them and Grudge 2 and Grudge 3 and show my kids someday.
I mean, how?
Thanks, Dad.
This is why you don't get angry and kill people. Understand? You make more grudges.
Yeah.
Don't make me make you into a grudge.
don't make me a grudge.
I'll do this shit to you. I'll break both your legs though.
Don't make me drown your cat.
Oh boy.
I like. It's so rare that you have an original because this came out at a time when they were remaking stuff like The Ring. And I think Pulse. I hadn't seen the original Pulse, but apparently because that's the one with like the technology and like internet ghosts that famously parodied. But from what I've heard,
wasn't
like
it
the
like
original
Dark
Japanese
Water as well? Dark Water was the one with the ceiling puddle.
Yeah. So yes, that's right. Yeah, and they remade that.
It was in vogue at this time to kind of remake Asian horror films.
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? It became like the thing. I think it's because Ring. It might have been Ringu or Ju-on that came out over in America. Or just came out in the West in general and did well. So these studios went, let's fucking remake all these Japanese horror films. Like, please don't. But because like only one of them was good, and that was The Grudge. Yeah. Because Dark Water, I nearly fell asleep in the cinema, but I've seen the Japanese original. It's fucking great. But the American the remake, so boring. But anyway, so. It's so nice that we watched both of them back to back today. I was like, wow, these movies are both really good. That's really nice. Isn't it nice to watch a remake and go, nice? Wow, it's just as good because it did enough things where it had enough of the original and still added its own elements to it. And I was like, wow, that's really nice.
I do like some of the ways that because I like the fact that it's still set in Japan.
And that works. That's why it works because if you set that shit in America or in England or Ireland, that's not going to work because Japan is all on the fucking curses. Like you just buy it, and like, in Japanese culture, you know, it's all about that shit. Where you couldn't have it like, did you know that in London, if you kill someone because you didn't like their fucking football team, you create a grudge. Oh no, the pub's got a grudge. You know, it doesn't work.
It's your old fucking grudge.
Give him a toasty. You know, fucking grudges, fucking ghosts. Like, it just doesn't work. Whereas in Japan, like, there's just something about their folklore and their stories and all the different cultures. It's like, it just works. Like stuff like the Siren games.
They're based on like Japanese legend, aren't they? Like there's like a type of ghost that like a vengeful spirit. And like you said, Siren, Blood Curse has the same kind of enemies as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, like, oh god, the Shibito. Oh Jesus Christ, they fucking creep me out. Yeah. You know what's creepy about them as well is when, I know I'm going to tangent because I love Blood Curse. I've got Forbidden Siren 2 ready to be played at some point, so I'm going to do that. But I love about Blood Curse in particular because you can do the sight jacking thing, and it's the fact that when they can't see it, they're just doing normal things. Yeah. Like they're just, it's so unsettling. Like they're just like doing like daily day things. Like, I'm just going to deliver the mail. It's a person, and I'm going to kill you, and you'll really enjoy it.
I'm convinced that it's bad, I can't remember his name. The guy who directed, is it Shinji Mikami, who directed Resident Evil 1 and then Resident Evil 4?
Yes.
So Resident Evil 4, with the villages in that, I'm convinced he got the idea from Forbidden Siren, because, well, I don't know how the times work out, but yeah, that whole thing about having villagers kind of like going about, when you're not on their radar, they do things, even if they are kind of like, I don't know, the memories of what they did when they were alive or something. It's still kind of, it's just eerie. Yeah, but I love in that game as well how they kind of like, they also scream like monkeys and like laughing and crying at the same time. Yeah. It's really creepy.
Or when you're in Blood Curse, when you're like hiding and you're doing sight jack, and it's just talking about, and it's just saying about how I'm going to find you and I'm going to enjoy it. And I can't remember which one it was, but it's like, I'm going to find you and I'm going to cut you up and it's going to be really fun. And it's that whole horrible distorted like laugh. It's almost like the Deadites in Evil Dead, like when you're possessed, like the voice goes all weird and unworldly, and it's fucking creepy. Yeah. And there was, I think it was in Ju-On, there's the bit right at the end when Kayako's approaching Rika, and it's kind of making like a similar sound. It stops like croaking and starts just like breathing heavily as it's like getting around the corner, and it's making that strange like Deadite distorted sound. And it's like, that's creepy because it doesn't just croak all the time. Now it's like struggling. It's getting annoyed that it can't get to me.
Yeah. I actually had the pleasure of watching Siren Blood Curse. I think it was Blood Curse. It was one on the PS2.
Forbidden Siren was the one on the PS2, okay. 1 and 2, and then Forbidden Siren got reworked as Siren Blood Curse for PS3. So
they sat down and went, okay, too many characters, let's combine characters into one. Yeah.
I watched SGF go through Siren 1 on the PS2, and yeah, that shit was pretty great. Like, I liked all that stuff. The sight jacking stuff, like that's your main survival tool, and it's always horrifying to use because you hear them talking or doing something, and I wanted to use like Forbidden Siren 2 or the one on the PS3 as on the podcast someday. I don't know if I can survive it.
I got through Blood Curse somehow, and I really want to play 2 eventually, so that might be a good excuse to play it for the cast. But yeah, the Sightjack's great because it's so dark in places, and you know you can't use your flashlight all the time or they'll see you, and there's nothing worse than sightjacking one of them and then going, wait, what's that thing? Oh god, it's me! And
you have to reorient yourself and like where's left and where's right. But you have to sight jack at like certain parts, or else they'll like, because they'll look at like passwords or something like that, or where a key is located. So you need to like stay in their head while they go through their whole routine and encase the area. Oh man, it's too much.
If you're in a cupboard and the one you're watching is moving towards the cupboard, then they stop. They look away and then they turn back to the cupboard, and you're just like, oh man.
It's like, please go away, please go away, please go away. Oh, so good. Just getting, I remember that hospital level.
Yeah, that shit was so much fun.
Yeah. I remember, I think it was the second. It was on the time you go to the hospital when you run the adults. I mean, but you don't have any weapons, so you can't fight still.
Yeah.
You just punch them. But I remember spending a good 15 minutes like plotting out everything because I'd worked out where they all were, and I was like, okay, so I remember doing it in one clean sweep, and I felt so good. And that's one of the things I love about it. It's a really good stealth game as well.
Yeah.
It's not just a good stealth horror game. It's like a genuinely good stealth game.
Yeah. Like maybe if I played it with that in mind, I could get through. But I tried playing I did 5 minutes of the PS3 version Siren, and I got shot in the back and shot in the back again because the policeman who showed up when I called for the police shot me to death. And I was like, you know what? They have guns. That's not fun at all. I can't do this shit.
I'm pretty sure it's him as well that's kind of like laughing really hysterically.
Yeah. I mean, I knew I was fucked. It was dark. I couldn't see anything in the game. I was just running a direction. I knew it was just going to get worse if I just kept running, but I had nowhere else to go. Blow! Blow! Oh, man. Fuck this game.
I love how obtuse that first section is in PS2. It's like break in, get key, pick up key, get to car, use key on car, get in car, use key on the keyhole of the car. It's like...
Yeah.
And he could shoot you at any time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very tense.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know if I could survive it. my heart will be in my throat the whole time. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
But
like you get to that. I felt the same way when first time I played through PT.
Yeah.
I got to a stage and I paused it and I just gave because it was me and my friend playing through. I think it was either when I went there to watch WrestleMania or SummerSlam. It was something like that. But I went down to my friends in Margate, and it got to a stage because we were taking it in turns, and then for a while it was just me playing it because apparently I'm an idiot that way. And it got to a point I paused it and I gave the control to my friend, Richard. Said, "Can you do it? I can't play this anymore." I was like, "This is just fucking with me." And I was like, wow, this is great. I can't wait for Silent Hill.
Yeah.
For reference, kids, PT is a game you can't play anymore because bullshit
Konami
digital
dicks.
shit.
Yeah.
Because Konami are Konami, and they hate games, apparently.
Yeah, they
hate
them.
money.
They
They don't
hate
like making money.
Yeah. What's crazy about that pause, like, I don't know if you've heard this before, but I've seen it happen like on somebody's stream. If you pause the game for long enough, that creepy woman will still kill you.
Oh my god, are you
Really?
Serious, yeah. This lady was like streaming, and it became a very popular viral kind of video thing. I just saw the clip, and she was streaming, and she paused the game. She was like talking to her streamers for a little bit, blah 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 blah. Then she flipped out of her fucking chair, yeah, because the damn thing grabbed her neck and like right through the pause screen. It's like, Jesus Christ! Ah!
That's brilliant.
I'm so glad
because you
in
know
a
what?
way
It's great.
that Kojima can't make that fucking game.
It sounds like something he'd do as well. He would be like, yeah, he's fully on like breaking the fourth wall all the time.
Yeah.
Oh man, that game could have been so great.
Well, I mean, that's the thing though. It's like, and I mean, we both agree that Ju-on and Grudge is pretty good. So we can keep talking about it. But I want to transfer to PT for just a second. PT as a Silent Hill game, I don't think would have worked out very well because PT was a walking simulator with great horror design, and Silent Hill is not a walking simulator. So, I don't know if there was going to be any combat or whatever, but it didn't seem like there was any emphasis on that in PT.
No.
And then I thought that Resident Evil 7 would follow suit, but Resident Evil 7's combat is actually pretty good, especially when you play the Chris scenario, because you can actually kick stuff. I saw you play that on stream, and I was like, yeah, you can punch things. So I'm like, yeah, that's Chris Redfield. That's all right.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I want
He swears
that.
a lot now for some reason.
So... unfortunately, as much as we lament the failure of PT, I don't know if it would have really saved Silent Hill, or if it would have just like been a really great experiment using a brand.
Well,
I don't know. I mean,
I personally feel it would have been very hard to not do something shit. Like basically, there'd been so much shit to that point. Like things had just been kind of slowly going downhill. I remember I liked bits of Downpour, but I was ready for literally anything to come along and be better. So long as it was kind of scary and it maybe I think there was probably a large part of designing PT in that PT was just kind of like a taster. I don't know if it was going to be the model for all the gameplay in the game. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever know that. But
no. That's the thing, like with Downpour, like you saying you like bits of it. I was the same, but the second I lost my light and all my equipment for like the third or fourth time, I was so fed up. It's like, can you just come up with something else to add difficulty?
Yeah, when when you first get to the town, and so I'd gotten that far, and I found this apartment building. I got up the side of it through some pathways or something, and I got into a room, and there was this guy who'd killed himself. He was like hanging there. And you find these notes around the apartment, I think, and they shed some light on what happened. And the fact that his corpse is just there the whole time and hanging is just... There's something about things like that get to me. They're the things that get under my skin. And so I was like...
he's going to jump out, he's going to jump out, he's going to jump out.
Something's going to happen. He's going to drop. I was expecting it. It never comes, but that's the point.
And that makes it scarier, because you go, oh, fucking hell, thank God for that.
Yeah.
And then... so I was like, I loved that part, and then suddenly I'm on a slidey section fighting the bogeyman, and Korn is playing. We've already talked about Korn. There's nothing against Korn. It's just it's kind of like there were bits that were kind of slow burning and working for me, and then bits that really didn't.
There was a few things I liked in I think it's the historical building or whatever it is, and there's like the tire swing outside.
Oh, you mean isn't that like a oh yeah, I know what you mean. There's like is there a theatre inside, or am I'm getting confused now?
That's later on.
Yeah,
but
that's later on.
It's when you it's like the massive library, and it's like it's something like that. But and I was walking through, and it's just like a tire on a rope swinging. I'm like, okay. And I moved the camera to the right to do something. Then I moved it back again, and then suddenly it was a person swinging instead, like not from their neck. So like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, I remember that part. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard something behind me. I was like, well, fuck. I turn around to like attack it, and there's nothing there. Turn the camera back round again. It's a tire again. It's like, more of that, please, more of that.
Yeah.
Downpour
don't get it.
Downpour had some really good elements like that. It's like the core game and story were meaningless, but when you explored Silent Hill, like a lot of it was effective horror stuff. I remember one where it's like there's a mirror and like a candle, and if you light the candle, like it causes a monster to appear, but the monster's invisible, except you have to look through the mirror to see her.
That's cool.
Yeah, that shit sucked though, because it was so hard to fight through looking at her through a mirror. But
so I just find over your shoulder, like, what the fuck's going on?
But I think in that case, like, it was effective because the fear of dying was like ramped up. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be a game that you could like skillfully combat through, like Homecoming was, and Silent Hill 1 through 4 really didn't have good combat to begin with, and I think on purpose. No. So Downpour like did that, but I think it balanced a little bit too much in favor of the monsters, because I would spend every resource to kill one woman who just beats the shit out of me. Like she's dodging
bullets. That game have like the police cars as well.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. I'd just run away from everything as much as I could.
Yeah.
These monsters should not have organization.
Well,
that's not scary.
Like, that's the thing. It's like you can go to the police station and turn the radio off so they don't organize anymore. And it's not like they're organizing from the police station. It's the same energy that creates your tire swing into a swinging person to a tire swing again. Like it's fucking with you, and it's using what resources it knows as a town to do.
Oh yeah, because he's a convict as well, so it's kind of it plays into that he has past sins that I guess you can decide whether they happened or not.
Yeah, mechanically speaking, it's annoying, but I think lore speaking, it's appropriate for the character and the setting. So.
Yeah, it also has magical postman.
Yeah,
that's the other thing I remember at the game.
Yes.
I wish they would just left Robbie the Rabbit as the mascot for Silent Hill from that point on, because the postman was not effective.
I think he showed up in Book of Memories as well.
He does.
Yep.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand him because it's just like, hey Murphy, I know more than I'm letting on. I'm like, well, just go away then. Either tell me or fuck off.
Yeah, tell me or fuck off.
It's heavily implied I'm the one that puts all the notes everywhere. Don't give us an explanation for that.
Yeah.
It's not scary anymore. Stop making things less scary.
Yeah.
Did you know that actually it's all a simulation?
Yeah, it's the Sunderland simulation.
Yeah.
To create.
It's like, please don't, like, because he's like, hey, it's heavily implied I'm from the 40s, but for some reason you're the only character that's ever seen me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's stupid, isn't it? Go away now.
And the game's got Born Free in it, which is like really like random. And it like plays on like old record players and stuff. It's like if you wanted to pick a creepy song, like, there's not much about Born Free that's really creepy.
No. It's like, I'll get it because he escapes from prison. Stop it.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
I think it's
God, it makes so much sense
also
now.
more like Born Free isn't a scary song, so it sort of like clashes with the atmosphere. Like turning the TV on when you have the Grudge monster chasing after you. It's supposed to be like, oh, okay, this is like kind of like the save room stuff, the save room music in RE7 and Resident Evil 1 through 4 and all that stuff, where you're like, dun, 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 you know, like it's meant to make you feel like, okay, I can breathe. And Born Free, I think, was supposed to, like, I don't remember there being any combat while there's music like that around. So, I don't know. I'm always defending things. I'm sorry. If we want to hate Downpour, we can. I'm sorry.
There are things I liked about Downpour. Yeah. I'd be interested in revisiting it.
We can do that for the podcast because if nothing else, exploring all of the hauntings would be worth talking about. I think.
Yeah. It's just, I think Downpour just is frustrating for me just because it got stuff right, makes the stuff it got wrong stand out even more.
Right. Yeah.
So you're like, you got that right. How did you mess this up?
Yeah.
Hey, do you know what would be really good? Like, in a survival horror game, like, because every game that's had this has always been really fun. Destructible weapons. Like, I love that shit.
I hate that shit.
I fucking hate them.
Like, make the crowbar a hard
so
to
much.
find rare weapon that you want to hold on to. But like, put boards and stuff along the way. Those can be destructible. I'm fine with that. But if you give me a crowbar, it better fucking last. Unless these guys are made of rock.
Exactly. Like, it's like when you have a wrench and wrench lasts like 4 swings. Like, do you know how heavy wrenches are?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! It's like when you have a hammer or any kind of like manual labor weapon in a video game, like a hammer or something like that, and it breaks. And like, what kind of hammers have you used? Like, do you know how useless that would be?
For that to happen,
I'm a hammer nailing.
You'd have to be hitting something so hard, and that thing being so hard that it would probably shatter like all the bones in your arm before it shatters the tool.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, I've got hammers in the garage from my grandfather. Then they've been used for years. Like, they're rusted over, but they're durable as fuck, and they're still heavy, and they're still very useful. So yeah,
it's supposed to take a beating. It's like when you get like a sledgehammer in it. It's like, dung! Oh, because it's broken. Like, someone better, guys. I think we need to speak to the fire department because we need to tell them those sledgehammers are worthless.
Yeah, somebody like used.
We're gonna get into your house, man.
Like,
oh, it's broken. Sorry, you're gonna burn to death.
Like, somebody used like pine wood for these sledgehammers. I don't know why, but untreated pine wood.
It's like a fucking kendo stick.
Yeah.
Oh shit, it broke.
It's ridiculous.
I knew we shouldn't have bought those cheap dollar store ones.
But yeah, so we're getting off topic here though. Grudge, Ju-on, thumbs up for both of them.
Great movies.
Totally watch them. Even after we spoiled it, like, it's still like, for me it was still tense. In fact, I felt tension talking about it. And so that's like the first time it's ever happened on this podcast. So I watch a horror movie and I still feel scared about it afterwards. I watched it the day I announced it. So, like, because I told my fiance, I was like, we're gonna watch this. She's like, right now? I'm like, I guess.
Yeah.
And we jammed it out. And it was awesome. So
yeah, I'm glad I watched you pick both of them because they're both really good movies and they've both got their own strengths. They're just enough different between the two of them to make them feel different. It's like I said, a lot of scenes were like copied straight over, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because hey, the story and structure works most of the time. Why wouldn't you do it? It'd be silly to just do it like completely new. And it's even because they combine characters as well. Like the detective in The Grudge is a combination of two of the characters from Ju-on, which is the detective and the guy that they bring back out of retirement who originally was on the case of the murders in the house. I will say that I love the fact that in Ju-on, when the two other cops arrive to get him out of the house, they look so fucking genuinely scared when she's coming down the stairs.
Yeah, as they should.
Like, they're practically holding each other, screaming.
Yeah.
I love that. That was great, because especially the younger one looks so, like, genuinely fucking terrified, and it was great. Like, they were so scared they couldn't move.
And, like, the older detective didn't have a plan. So,
no.
Like, he's like, huh? No, nothing? We're just gonna die? Okay, we're gonna die. I can't move. I'm so fucking scared.
Yeah, like, hold me.
I love you, Earl.
I I had 2 days left till retirement.
But one thing I forgot to bring up, and I want to bring up, is a bit of a controversial scene. Miku in The Grudge, the lady who goes first to the Grudge house to take care of the old lady, and ends up like opening up the tape in the closet and then getting killed by the Grudge monster when she puts her head up in the attic. Wasn't her name Miku?
Yoko.
Yeah.
In The Grudge, yeah, Yoko. Yoko.
Yeah, Yoko, she gets killed. She has her jaw ripped out, and that was
nasty.
That was fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Right.
You know what I loved about that as well? When you notice the jaw, it's split second. It's on camera.
Yeah.
It's not on camera for too long. Like you see it, and you go, cut to the next scene.
Yeah. You see it, and it's like,
oh, was that jaw?
And like the inspector's like, whose jaw is that? And I was like,
That's
I was like,
weird,
whose
right?
jaw is that? And it sets up the scene for Yoko to come back to work because that's what she remembers, and like this like blood dripping out of her
Poor
face and just like tiptoeing around. That's where like Japanese horror really gets it right, where it's set in the atmosphere. But my problem with it is that I don't have a problem with it. I love that scene. But Riza mentioned, or my fiance mentioned, that she doesn't understand why Yoko is even in the movie, because like people who die by the Grudge either turn into spirits or something, but they don't like physically manifest to people who haven't been there. You know what? No, I think. Let me think about it.
Well, they find their bodies. They find their bodies in the roof, don't they? So like
attic,
something clearly happens to the physical body, but like the other people, like in the apartment, under the bed covers, they just disappear and they're gone.
Yeah.
We don't really find a body for them, do we?
No, we don't. I mean, I'm not trying to break the mythos of the character at all. I fully accept it no matter what, because you just don't have answers. But now that I think about it, though, I think Yoko does make some kind of sense, because it's not saying that her body is alive. It's just it could just be another spirit form. And I remember the manager from the human resources or medical whatever building it is. He did visit the house, so that would draw the connection. So never mind. There's no controversy there. It's just
did I miss something? Sorry, I just want to check with you guys. Did I miss something in Ju-on? The sister of the brother, she does visit the house.
Yes.
She doesn't do that in the American one, does she?
She goes there initially.
No,
when they're buying the house.
Oh, it's just a phone call. Is that enough to get you like infected?
No.
Wait.
She goes there when Matthew and Jennifer and the mum go to the house. She's with them.
Oh yeah,
I missed that.
when they're buying the house. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she's with them. So it's like, as soon as you step in there, you're fucked.
Yeah. So that
man.
real estate
I'm
company.
glad that was wrapped up.
That real estate
that was
company is like losing employees left and right.
God damn it!
I love that guy as well, because he's like, let me pull the plug out. Oh, it's not on the plug. I guess I'm gonna have to take the blazer off. Off I go.
and also like my girlfriend, she pointed out once, and she's like, "What a dick! He didn't even tell him like, hey, oh yeah, you can have the house, but just be careful of the creepy child in the sink.
Yeah,
look out for sink boy."
Yeah, his name is Toshio, by the way. We didn't mention his name.
Toshio.
Because I was like, his only line in the movie is, "My name is Toshio."
I really liked the fact.
Well, no, he has two lines, that and screeching meow noises.
I like the fact that, because I realised, because like I said, we watched them back to back today, that I love the fact that Kayako and the husband were both the same actor. Like, I think that just makes it all the more better. Yeah. It didn't recast them. I was like, you don't have to recast them. He's like, guys have already got them right there. Like, we can just throw them up and get them to do their scenes again.
And
like,
I mean, that certainly leaves a blessing, doesn't it? Like, the director blessed this movie with the same actors and actresses. None of you fucking weeaboo wannabes should even be mad that this is an American movie. You know, and like, they're both so effective.
I think The Grudge is probably a more streamlined version of it.
Yeah, but it makes
because
more
it cuts
sense.
out the multiple characters. Because it cuts out the multiple characters, we get the it's a very Hollywood thing to have the moment where we see the killings and all that, but I think it works in the structure of the movie, because we're actually seeing it. We're also seeing a flashback of Bill Pullman seeing and finding like the body, and I really feel sorry for him in the movie.
Yeah.
I remember the first time, because I saw I saw The Grudge first, and I'm a big Bill Pullman fan. Like, I really like Bill Pullman. Oh, he'll also be Lone Star for me in Spaceballs, but he's also in David Lynch's Lost Highway.
Yes,
He's great in that.
Yeah,
and I think he's a really underrated actor. Yeah, that's a great movie. I think as an actor, Bill Pullman's really underrated. I really like him, and he's the first character we'd see in the movie in the Grudge. You know, he gets up, and I was like, oh wow, Bill Pullman's it. Oh, there he goes. Oh shit, not Bill Pullman. But I feel so sorry for him. Like, he goes to this, he finds out he's got this admirer, and he's like, fuck, she won't leave me alone, she won't leave me alone. I know in Ju-on the Curse, I'm pretty sure it's that she's actually having an affair with this school teacher. I'm pretty sure that's what it is from what I read.
Yeah, because he said something along the lines of, I couldn't believe you had another man, I couldn't believe he's not my son, or something like that.
Yeah, he's not my son, blah. Whereas in this one, she's obsessed with him. Even the moment where we're looking through the photos, that's creepy. Where she's just following him. Yeah. That's really creepy. So she was already fucked up anyway, so the whole family's fucking mental. Except the poor fucking innocent kid. But and I think it's better because his character is then so sympathetic and innocent in all of this. And actually, like, I don't think it's the curse that kills it. I think he's just seen shit.
Right.
Can't deal with
at this point, he's like...
He can't deal with it.
Yeah, he can't deal with the horror, and he's just like, screw it, I'm going to kill myself. He doesn't know that the grudge is even a thing, as far as I can tell. He just looks at his wife as she wakes up, and he's like, it's not going to get any better than this.
Yeah. Because he must figure out as well that kid is obviously a ghost at that point. I like the fact that when he finds Kaiko's body, his first instinct is to go and get the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, he runs back in, and then we don't see the kid, but we see the husband hanging. And apparently, I was looking up in the director's cut, the camera pans up, and the husband's like hanging by Kaiko's hair.
Oh, neat.
I'm like, oh, so maybe he was the first victim of the curse. Like, that's cool. But yeah, Bill Pullman, like, I feel so bad for him. He's not in the movie long. But I was watching it, and something came back to me that I remember when I first watched it. I was looking at him walking around like all this creepy stuff, and I was like, you know, if I'm making a Silent Hill movie, Bill Pullman's my Harry Mason.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, he'd be perfect. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's like looking at him like investigating and walking around like he would be so great for Harry Mason.
He really would be.
And then I got really depressed. I was like,
Yeah, there'll never be another Silent Hill movie. So
no, not for a long time. But yeah, like that whole scene comes in a very Hollywood part of the film where now we get to see everything. Like, but it still works because hey, there was sort of like a flashbacky type thing in Ju-on, but it's more of a weird flash forward and flashback, which I wasn't 100% cool with. I didn't like the whole he sees his daughter and then it flash forwards to when she's a adult, like she's like a teenager.
It's like a time tunnel they see each other through. Yeah,
and then I get confused because it's like, you hear that Rika, you hear on the news report on the radio that Rika's been found dead in like an attic space. I'm like, so is this at the same time as that stuff from earlier? But no, but it can't be because her dad was brought on the case when Rika was
Yeah.
So that's one of my gripes of it, and I also not a huge fan of the ending to Ju-on.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, it's like, oh no, she'll become cursed as well. Like, yes, we've already seen this with the school kids. Why is this such a sad thing now? And she put a hand over her face. Like, I had no problem with the whole thing of if you put your hand over your face. It's almost like John does at the end, where if you're kind of looking at it at the corner of your eye, you can see it.
Yeah.
I was fine with that. I didn't like the fact that she figures this out when she's running out the house and then decides to stand in front of the mirror and do it. Like, you are so spooked that you're running out of the house, and then you're like, I've got an idea. Just fucking leave.
Yeah.
Do it at home.
Just
I'd have been fine if she runs. I'd been fine if she like runs and she's like at home. She's like, oh god, I think I'm okay. And then she starts thinking about it. And she's like, oh, you know, and people had like and I only ever saw things like the corner where I when she's like, and she starts to get, she does it and she stops and she's like, I can't do it. And she does it. She goes to do it again. She stops again. She's like, and then she does it one final time, and that's when she does it, and then we get the whole payoff because you know, you do that, like you as much as you don't want to, that curiosity in your brain clicks on. Like it's like that's why I was fully behind Sarah Michelle Gellar's character investigating it, because you would, because your brain tries to look for a logical reason. And you're like, I've got to look into it because there's got to be a reason why this shit's happening.
Yeah.
There has to be. This can't just be happening for no reason. So I'd be okay with that. It was just the fact that she's so scared she's run out of the house and then decides, I'm going to look through my hands. Maybe that's a good idea. Oh no, it's not a good idea. I'm dead. Yeah, that bugged me. That bugged me a lot. And that actually brings me to something that I really liked. There were really cool, subtle things in Ju-on that weren't in The Grudge. One of them it's when it's later in the movie. We're back with Rika again, and she's on the phone to Mariko, and there's the old guy inside who can clearly see the kid, but she can't.
Yeah.
And he's like, peekaboo. And what's great is there's not that moment where in a poor remake you would have that scene again, but she'd be like, what are you looking at, Mr. Johnson? And she looks down, she can't see anything. And then we see it from his eyes, and then it's the boy, and we get big orchestral sting. It's the bitch, that child. We don't see it.
Subtlety.
And then there's one moment I had to wind it back because my girlfriend missed it. She's weaning him on the wheelchair, and he's still doing peekaboo, peekaboo, and we don't see it again. Cut to a scene, the next shot, sorry, and there's people coming out of the building, and she wheels him in through a door. For a few seconds, one of the doors is closed, and you can see the boy's reflection. He's looking up at the old man as they're walking along, and he's doing peekaboo, peekaboo. But then when they come into shot, when they actually come into the shot properly, he's not there. And it's like, that's fucking brilliant. I love that. More of that. I love shit like that. It was like Insidious, where, was that a kid? Was there a kid there? Oh shit, there was a kid there. Oh my god, the kid was standing there the whole time. I love things like that where it's not brought to your attention, and you notice it, and it's scarier. It's like in the original Halloween. There's a great moment where Jamie Lee Curtis is on the phone to her friend, and the camera we're seeing it through where her friend is. We can hear Jamie Lee Curtis on the other end. She's at the front of the kitchen, and you can see the door to the garden behind her. I think she walks past, and then like it's all one shot. She walks past, and when her head clears the doorway, all of a sudden it's open, and Michael Myers is just standing there. He's not doing anything, but there's no music. He's just there. It's quiet. He's staring at her. She moves back again, and he's left. And like, that's so fucking creepy.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. No big orchestral sting.
Yeah.
None of that.
I really miss
it's
not having that shit.
I love shit like that.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that.
It feels like it's pointing out for people who might not see it. So they go, this is a really scary thing, so we want people to notice, so we'll add like a sting, like a violin hit or something. And it's like... no, you're right. Trust your audience to not be stupid.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, that's when you've got what on one instance. I mean, Insidious did have jump scares, but it had a lot of genuine creepy moments anyway. That had no like loud banging music or anything. The Grudge and Ju-on both had moments like that where you saw things, like you saw like the kid run past, or in both versions, one of my favourite shots is in the elevator, and it's just the kids on every single floor as she's going up.
Yeah, I did like that. Yeah,
single floor, and in the Grudge it gets closer and closer, which I liked as opposed to Ju-on. It was just the same stage, but it's just like getting closer and closer. Or in both versions, the brother's outside. She opens the door, the brother's gone. I liked it more in Ju-on because of the design of the flat. There's nowhere where he could have run in time.
Yeah.
If like he was fucking with us, it's like that's weird. But whereas you've got stuff like that, which is just creepy, and it's great because there's no like big banging music and like violence, like you were saying. Then you've got movies like Drag Me to Hell, which might as well just have a big sign come flashing up on screen saying "Be startled, be startled, be startled, be startled." It's just. Bang! Bang, bang, bang! Oh.
And then...
handkerchief scare!
Maybe a... we were going to get you. Bang!
Oh, we got you that time! I remember being in... I've probably told this story before. I remember being in the cinema, enjoying the ride of Drag Me to Hell. Then it kept going on past the halfway point, and I started to get really pissed off with it. And I remember the one that really soured me was... I'm sure I've mentioned this before. It's the handkerchief. All of a sudden, the handkerchief, it's got her face in it. And it's jumped up on the car. Stop that shit. Go away.
What?
Go away.
No, I mean, the handkerchief jumped up on a car? Is it alive? What? I haven't seen the movie, I'm sorry.
It's like I think the handkerchief like blows up onto the windshield or something, and it's like, ah, handkerchief.
Okay.
I'm like, fuck this movie.
Yeah. Well.
And then the ending like is just so obviously it hurts. You just sit there waiting for it, going, yeah, we know how it's going to end. Because your character's an idiot. Character's a dumbass, and she deserves to die horribly.
Every time I think of one of those things like that, I get the music. I don't know if you guys know the meme, like Epic Maneuver meme. It uses a bit of music from a Nightwish song. And
No?
Oh, okay. So like JonTron's done it a couple of times. Like if you search, I think it's yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I just see that, and I see the word subtlety flashing like in so many different colors.
Oh yeah, I think I show out now.
But no, I like Chris. I really miss a lot of horror films that are more subtle.
Yeah.
Make you think. Did I see that? Maybe it was just in my head. Make you question yourself.
I mean, at the very
like
least,
the characters
they could
are.
just like tone down the orchestral sting to like maybe a single piano note or something. You know, bing. Yeah. You know,
And-
like if
and
you
even-
need to let them know, sure, but don't like destroy my eardrums.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When you just go, fuck off, because then you're just jumping at the music.
Well, yeah, we've talked about this before. At that point, you're
Yeah.
relying on like human instincts
Yeah.
to go, it's a loud noise, like, or that's not scaring someone. That's employing their like survival instincts.
Yeah, like
But when you see things just out of the corner of your eye in shots that are they're just there, and it doesn't really draw attention to it. You're there with the character, second guessing yourself.
Yeah, unease your
No,
brain.
maybe I didn't see
like,
that.
Make you think scary things rather than just react to sudden
Yeah, I
jumps
mean,
in volume.
Sometimes that's just creepier when you're just like, oh, jeez, what the fuck is going on?
Well, yeah, I was telling you guys earlier about that scene in Downpour with the hanging guy in the room, right? That is
Yeah,
completely silent. There is no noise.
Yeah. Is there any like creaking from the
There might be
the
very,
boards?
very low level atmospheric sound. But that's
okay,
literally it.
Because that's just a constant.
There's no
Like,
music.
shut up.
There's definitely no music as far as I can remember. It's so quiet. You know,
It's like, what?
that makes it
I'm reading notes.
worse.
Yeah, it's like I'm reading this and there's like a dead guy in front of me.
Yeah.
Is this kind of wrong?
like I imagine myself reading that stuff and be like, "Is this what you really thought, dude?" All right, you know, like talking to him like he's still alive.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's not everything's that bad.
Is it really
Come
the end of
on,
the world?
Get down from there.
Is it?
Just shrugs.
Yeah.
I'll see you in the middle of something. I'll come back later.
Yeah. I'm gonna go pop off for a brew. You want one? I'll bring you. You want one? Maybe I can.
Coke. What? Coke.
I told you gotta.
No, do you want diet or
You gotta
regular?
watch your sugar, dude. You gotta watch your sugar. You can get fat. Like, no, don't talk about me.
No.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
So it's your turn, Matt.
It is. Let me see. So, I was like, so I could pick something really spooky. I mean, my last pick was The Beyond, which was genuinely revolting at times, which was great.
I think it was glorious. I really enjoyed The Beyond. I still think about it.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot recently as well. Like, it's still in my mind. There's still a lot in, like, I mean,
Hashtag
not
that
all great,
ending.
you know. Oh, I love.
Oh yeah, that
ending's
ending
one of
was
my
good.
favourites.
I knew it was pretty
It's
good.
it could literally genuinely be my favourite depiction of hell that I've ever seen in the movie, because it's just, it would be just endless, and you would just go mad. You wouldn't fire brimstone, no, just nothing.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's madness. But so I was thinking, it's like, okay, how about some really fun schlock, some really fun, over the top, high budget 80s schlock. So I know it's on Netflix because it's been on my list for a while and I've been looking for an excuse to watch it.
Okay.
Is Toby Hooper's Lifeforce.
Oh, I've never heard of this.
I know a lot about it. I've never watched it. I know it was a Canon movie. It's like one of the last Canon movies. Do either of you know who Canon films were? They did like the Death Wish movies and a lot of action schlock back in the 80s.
Nope.
They famously they did the Masters of the Universe movie.
Oh, well, I've seen that.
yeah, they would famously they had so many rights to things, and it's very famous. And I might be remembering this wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was that they would promote this movie, and then they would use the funds from that promotion to finance something else because they didn't actually have as much money as they said they did.
Wow.
So they famously had the rights to the Spider-Man. They were going to make a Spider-Man movie, and they never did.
I'm reading that this was a Dan O'Bannon thing.
Yes. So it's Lifeforce is a movie I've wanted to watch for a long time because it's not great, it's not perfect, but from what I've heard it's just so mental that it becomes something glorious. Like it had like a 25 million budget.
Wow.
Back in '85. Yeah.
It looks like it pulled about less than half of that in the box office.
It's become an absolute like cult hit. It's got a really good cast as well.
Patrick Stewart, excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, Patrick Stewart.
Peter Firth. Yeah, Patrick Stewart, isn't it? Peter Firth, who was Tom, you might know, he was in Spooks.
Yes, I've seen Spooks before.
So he's in it. It's directed by Toby Hooper, so there you go. It's gonna be mental. It's based on a book called The Space Vampires.
Oh, of course, Toby Hooper did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes, and the screenplay was written by Dan O'Bannon and Don Jacoby. So, Dan O'Bannon, where can you go wrong? Well, you could probably go wrong, but yeah, this is a movie I've wanted to look at for a while, and it is sci-fi horror, and everyone just keeps telling me it's fucking insane. Like, I think it's the last 20 minutes is just completely insane and completely bonkers, and there's like explosions and shit. So yeah, that's my pick. Some 80s action, that sci-fi horror schlock that had a massive budget somehow.
Excellent.
Oh, Canon Films, you crazy bastards.
Well, it's not on American Netflix.
Yeah. Cool.
Balls. Of course it's. Why would it be?
Why the hell would it be? Why would they have
why can't it just be the same
on any goddamn thing?
Oh, gee, why can't it just be the fucking same, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's like I can't remember what I was watching. I think it might have been James Rolfe did a video just saying, like, why is region 1, 2, and 3 even a fucking thing anymore?
Yeah.
It's like, it's so pointless. Like, they've been re-releasing old Gundam series on Blu-ray, like doing like the anniversary. So I've got like Mobile Suit Gundam and Zeta Gundam. Like, wow, these are my favourite series. And then I'm waiting for the movie that's like the big payoff for the first 3 series, like Mobile Suit, Zeta, and Double Zeta. It's like the big payoff. And it's out in America, it's out in Japan, not out in the UK. And obviously it's region 1 or whatever it is that is whatever region is in the States. So I'm like, oh great, so I can't even import it because I can't watch it.
Yeah.
Why
I've got
is
a
it
few
thing?
region 1 DVDs. A couple I've ripped just so that I can actually watch, because I had to use like software on my laptop to cut out that kind of regional thing to be able to see them. Like the Gregory Horror Show DVDs, they're all region 1s.
Yeah, I mean, why? What's the point anymore? Like, with the way we're connected now.
It's just it's licensing, which is like one of the like big bullshit things alongside like marketing and distribution and all that. It's just kind of like, oh, I won't let you play this here unless you pay me the rights to do that for it, and not forever either, but for like, I don't know, 2 years. So it's the reason why I don't really play Rock Band anymore at the moment, but it's the reason why some of the songs in that store have disappeared. They kind of Harmonix do a regular blog where they go, this song is going out of the store. If you bought it, you can always download it again, but if you haven't, you can't, because they would have to relicense it. So
fucking hell.
Yeah, it's
pretty crazy.
It is.
Oh man, yeah, that stuff just pisses me off. Like, you know, it's like when movies are released now. Like, oh, when it comes out, oh, it's already been out in like America for 2 weeks, or even like sometimes it's the same. It's already been out in England for like 5 days. Why? It's a big fucking budget thing just to release it worldwide at the same time. To stop dickheads online for spoiling it for everyone.
I find that because I'd say I'm watching an American film reviewer, like he's a bit mainstream, a bit kind of like, you know, he's not the most detailed critic ever, but I enjoy the work of Jeremy Johns, and
yeah, I watch his stuff.
yeah, and he'll kind of like be talking about a movie, and I'm like, oh, is that out? And I check, no, it's out next year, because in America. Oh, by the way, Chris, Lifeforce appears to be on YouTube in its entirety. So.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
So long as the video I'm looking at
is it American YouTube?
It may be blacked in some states.
Yes, you can only fuck with a copyright if it's still region 1.
Oh, that's my favourite as well, is when you get like the official source, like some of the, say for example, like Saturday Night Live uploads something, and you're like, oh cool, this is the official thing. This is blocked in your country. Why?
Yeah.
Why is it fucking blocked? It makes no sense.
It's not in their interest to block it. Like, I guess it's just another one of those rights things. Anyway, Chris, I found a link. It doesn't look like it's the greatest quality ever, but if you can't find it for whatever reason,
it's got that
it might be enough. It's got like a weird effect over it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
That's
an old
probably to
FMV
avoid
game.
copyright, like bots.
Well,
to
I have no
what it is,
problem renting it from Amazon for $3 or $4 or something. I've got no issue with that. So if I can't get it on YouTube, I will get it there. And if I can't get it there, then I will watch it on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, worst case scenario, there's a link at least for it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Some of the thumbnails are crazy about this movie, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Looks like we might be revisiting kind of Return of the Living Dead style effects, which look really interesting.
Yeah, some of the effects, I've seen some of the effects in this and they're pretty cool.
Nice.
I've seen some of the deleted effects.
Oh, and I can see
I
can see bare breasts as well. So yeah, it's
Lots
going to be a good time.
Well, at least there's that.
It's a horror movie.
Zombies,
with
tits, yeah,
Yes,
tick, tick. It's fine.
That's what we have in this podcast. That's what there was not. Actually, no, you know what? I didn't like Jill or the Grudge. Not enough fucking tits.
No, we're not
No.
fucking tits. There
Disappointed.
just weren't enough.
Even if they were undead. Just weren't enough. There was just too much and not enough breasts. Okay. 1 star.
1 star. Half a star.
1 star.
1 star's point.
If it had tits, 5 stars.
So shallow.
But, you got to give it half a point because I think don't both of them have like technically girl on girl bed baths. Like I guess
True.
that's worth half a star.
Technically.
Sure. Well, I'm like you see, I'm like Unilad Gaming, where if it's built in the Unreal Engine, it instantly looks amazing.
Oh yeah, this game will revolutionise the genre, and it's like
Every time they're like, someone's making a fan game in Unreal. They're making it in the Unreal Engine, and it looks incredible.
20 hours later, cease and desist.
Buzzwords. No, sometimes I watch like my favourite ones. There's the Walking Dead game coming out,
Which one?
and there's still been the one that's gonna be like a card
Overkill.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's
Overkill's The
still
Walking
no
Dead.
fucking gameplay.
No,
And I see
just
people going,
FMV
"This looks amazing."
trailers.
How does it look amazing? It's a CGI trailer.
Well, the CGI trailer does look amazing, but yeah, the game we know nothing
This game
about.
looks What's the thing like people say this game looks amazing? Like, no, it doesn't.
See, the real
I'm getting worried.
The real fun thing
we haven't
is
seen
if
it.
you play that game, and then let's say you want to go to your home screen, and then you press the button to go to home screen, and it tells you can't go back.
Oh, we had that, didn't we? We had that in the finale.
Yeah,
A
the
player
finale
said,
literally
"Can't go back,
featured
Rick."
the words "You can't go back, Rick." It's like,
I was like, "Fuck me."
yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Just after, just after we just had this big thing of we can go back, and it's like, "We can't go back, Rick, because I'm crazy again.
Yep.
Because I don't know what to do with my character. I'm crazy. I live."
I mean, it's
I
got to
don't
be
die.
so frustrating
Please
to be like
die.
a TV show actor because like you're told every day what developed with your character, and then you just gotta wing it. And then
Yeah.
and then people are like, "I hate your character," and it's like, "But I'm not the character. I'm just doing what I'm being told, and don't hate me."
It's like, I hate it.
Like literally half of The Walking Dead is just a showcase of this exact point, Chris. Is people like acting the heart out of really shit dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Really
that. It's like
shit.
that poor kid who played
Can't go back.
King of the Seven Kingdoms, Joffrey. The
right,
actor
yeah.
who played
Yes.
Joffrey. Like he can't work again.
Oh, he got so much shit.
Nobody likes him as a person because of what a character he
He was
played.
just too good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was fucking great. You know what I like about him though? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to uni and become like an architect.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm like, fucking good for you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for
Hopefully
you. Like,
people
he's
forget
made
in,
his
like,
money.
15 years that he was like this abysmal ruler of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, like he was fucking evil. That's the thing. Like, I saw an interview with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He's like, I've had people come up to me in the street, like, say, "You're fucking horrible, man." Like, I'd play a character.
Well,
Why are
you
you
say
doing
that,
this?
but we recently went to see Rampage starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Doesn't he just basically play Negan?
Yeah, he is Negan in that film, like almost exactly. He even does the lean. It's just
You know,
like,
they were like, do the lean.
yeah,
Like, you're wearing a suit. You're completely different.
it's it wasn't a
weird
bad movie. It was
prequel.
okay, but
It's a weird prequel to Walking Dead.
yeah, it was a very strange prequel.
Yeah.
Was the gorilla called Lucille?
Okay, well, until next time then.
Yes.
Everyone will go away and watch Lifeforce.
Oh, boy.
Toby Hooper's Lifeforce.
Yeah, not anybody else's
yes.
Lifeforce. Don't watch a Let's Play for the game Lifeforce. We're not talking about that.
Yeah, it's a completely different thing.
I kind of love the
Fuck
cheesy
Konami.
weirdness of Lifeforce, the
Yeah.
PS2 game.
Yeah.
I think
Shit, it was
I think
PS2
it
game?
might be my enemy Squidward has done a fucking speedrun of Lifeforce. I'm pretty sure it's him.
I was talking about the NES game
Motherfucker.
Lifeforce.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh
thinking
no,
about.
I'm getting confused with Lifeline. Do you know Lifeline?
Oh,
for
yeah, I do
PS2?
know Lifeline. SGF did
The
some
one with the
Lifeline.
microphone.
Lifeline.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm pretty
Lifeline
sure
PS2.
Squidward or
Oh,
Speedward,
I've not
is
heard
his
of that.
name, has done it.
No, I've not. I've never heard of this.
Oh, really?
It never came out here, which is probably why.
Of course.
Because LOL regional dialects, we all talk different, so you couldn't possibly like market this game. Same as like Hey You Pikachu or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think that'd be a problem, but yeah, I guess so. What's weird is that like
Because we all talk funny.
releasing it in America is no better. Like from one state to another, you
Yeah.
have different accents.
Yeah.
I would say so, but
weird.
apparently, yeah.
Whatever.
It's better now, but back then there was a lot of PS2 games that
I'm pretty sure I
you
have a
can't.
copy of Lifeline, but I have no way to play it. So go me.
It's like Beyond as well. The one it was made by From Software. I found out the first person horror game set on the moon.
Oh, which one?
Beyond the fuck. It's gonna bug me now. Sorry, listeners. Like you're just gonna have to hold on for a bit longer while I look at
It
stuff.
just sounds like you're pounding that keyboard. Like I gotta find out.
Echo Knight. That's it. Echo Knight.
Oh
Beyond.
yes, the second one came out here.
Yeah. From Software.
I've got a
made it.
PAL copy, but yeah, it's
So the creators of Dark Souls and Bloodborne made Echo Knight Beyond.
And Armored
Fuck,
Core.
alright.
Armored Core.
yeah.
Yeah.
Love Armored Core.
Mental. Looking forward to seeing what their next game is because they're teasing us. Because they're bastards.
I want to play Armored Core.
Do you know what
They
I wish
just-
had come out here? There is a really cool series in Japan. There's a first-person horror game called Hungry Ghosts. Do you know Hungry Ghosts?
Hungry?
No.
No.
If we're getting obscure on these horror games, I've got to dig out the Hungry Ghosts. So basically, it's my goal in life to be able to read enough passing Japanese to play Hungry Ghosts.
Oh shit! It was never localized.
No.
Like at all. Fuck.
Hungry Ghosts PS2.
Shit! I can't even. It's not even on Wikipedia. Well, that's me done then.
Yeah. So if you the first hit on YouTube is Hungry Ghosts.
Hungry Ghosts.
Yeah, it's all first person, and you kind of
Ah.
walk around, and there are like zombies and ghosts and stuff.
You apparently play as Aragorn.
Yeah, I'm looking. Look, there's like a skull that's glowing, and I don't know what's happening in Japanese. And oh look, there's a ghosty one. He's stabbing him with a spear. It looks really cool. It's my kind of game. I wish I could read it.
The main character really does look like a ranger from Lord of the Rings, though.
Yeah,
this
it's
isn't
kind of
Gondor.
it's another one of those things where it's kind of like weird dark fantasy, like Bloodborne and Souls games
Dark
and
Souls,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's what you can do, Tom. You can play Hungry
Yeah.
Ghosts with one hand, and then in the other hand, hold your phone up with Google Translate and visually translate the thing.
Brilliant
or have
idea.
someone else do it for you, because it's actually, I don't know. It kind of functions
Terrible
correctly.
title.
I was playing Monster Hunter World in German because I was trying to learn German, and I
Mm-hmm.
used the phone to decipher parts that I didn't know myself, and it kind of worked. It gave me a clue. So maybe you can get a clue
Okay.
and play Hungry Ghosts.
Is that just for audio though? Because a lot of this is on text Japanese.
No,
like
no, it's
kanji.
text. You hold the camera of your phone up
Oh,
to
wow.
the screen, and it translates things on site.
Wow.
Yeah, it ain't.
Yeah, I
perfect,
need to try this
but,
out.
You know, might want to give it a shot.
Yeah. Excellent.
Like,
This will make a really worthwhile and entertaining Let's Play.
It's like, it is a joke, yes, but also it's possible that it could work. So I don't want to dissuade you, but I am going to laugh at you.
That makes an interesting Let's Play.
But yeah, it's worth a fun look on YouTube anyway. Hungry Ghost, check it out.
Terrible title.
Yeah, but I don't
Hungry
know.
Ghosts.
There's something kind of cheesy and quirky about it. I like.
It looks like
Hungry
it'd be hard as
Ghosts.
fuck to play. And it looks
It
like
does
it'd
look
be-
hard as fuck to play.
Yeah, like it looks like Fatal Frame-esque, you know?
Yeah, it's got that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
The meters and the vitality and health and stuff will look like that. Cool.
Oh.
All right. Well, maybe I'll look into trying to play like that with translation somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an English patch.
It'll be like, oh, what does this mean? The enemy is attacking. Oh shit, what does this mean? You're dead. Oh, great. Okay.
I'll remember
probably
that
like that.
forever, and that way I won't have to hold the phone up anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're all grudged out, and we're
you're
gonna.
grudged
fucking
out. I
grudges.
ain't grudged out. I'm gonna grudge after this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Goddamn Grudges.
Yeah, let it go.
Oh, man.
Let it go, lady.
Things they can't go back the way they
Ultimate
used to.
Tsundere mode. I really wanted to love that American professor. Meh, I'm gonna kill everybody. I'm gonna drag them all to hell and stare at their face.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah. Enjoy Lifeforce, and we'll meet up here next time.
enjoy life.
And until then, please
don't-
try not to die under horrific circumstances and come back.
Yeah, please though. We don't need more grudges. Come on,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
Don't need that
Don't
shit.
make me force you to enjoy life.
I'm gonna force it down your throat.
You love life.
This episode of Spoilers of the Damned was hosted by Axton10_61, Marcus Finch, and Garlips. To find out about us, as well as join the discussion on our Discord, check out all the links in the description below. Please feel free to leave a review or rate us on your podcast app of choice.